everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How are you doing,
Hello.
Ryan?
Welcome to our annual session.
Yes. Once every blue moon, once a year, on Ryan's birthday, we get together to play Dungeons and Dragons.
It's not actually my birthday. I'm failing to get Twitch chat open, but if you're wishing me a happy birthday, you're late.
Yeah.
Try again next year.
Yeah. Do it right next time. So here we are. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, surprisingly.
Blasphemy.
Yes.
Have we ever done 5th edition on Dicing with Death?
I
don't know if we have. Did we?
Have. Yeah.
There was a 5th edition campaign in Roll20, so we must have done something.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring us back to that other map, right? You had the dwarf. You were dwarves on a hill, and they were like flying creatures attacking and everything, and there was a bar with a tunnel.
Yeah, it was a pretty lackluster session, if I recall. I mean, on paper it sounds cool, right? Like we built a ballista and shot a griffin or something like that.
Something like that.
It was 5e, so it was all a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of your sessions are top notch.
I wasn't sure which way you were gonna go with that, but thank you. All right.
Right. So, I think I would love to. Oh God, Twitch is the worst. All right, just stop. Make it stop. All right. Sorry, chat. You're on your own. We'll see if I can get it working. I've got some Gen Z streamers screaming in my ear.
What?
All right. I think it's done. I tried to open Twitch and join it, and it just like auto plays the most popular stream as soon as I open the homepage, and I can't remember my password, and it's a bad scene.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah, it's over.
All right.
Okay. So we are here to play some D&D. We're going to make a character, not a low-level character. We're going to make a mid-level character, and then we're going to do some.
What is mid-level in 5e? Like level 3, 5?
I was going to say somewhere between 5 and 7.
That's pretty, especially in 5e. That's going to be pretty OP.
Yeah. Well, it's important that your character be, high enough level that they would have access to. I mean, it's the beginning of the world, so these things can shift a little bit, but be able to make or have access to something who can make them like potions, and has.
Is there a level cap or a level restriction on potions in 5e? Are there even rules for it?
I don't know. I was just going to go with the standard 2e rules, which I think are around 7th or 9th level. It's 9th level for sure for wizards. It might be 7th level for clerics. I'm not entirely certain. But it's early days in the world, so gods are around a little bit more and like showing up in person. So I figure, you could probably be lower level and get away with it, and the gods would help you out. Because you're
sweet deal.
Yeah, and originally I was thinking it would be a cleric of Jexel, but after I wrote out all the major plot points, I think maybe like an evil cleric of Quantarious, god of trade, might actually be the right role for us.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe.
That changes the concepts I had rattling around in my head, but we can come up with something.
Yeah, Jexel could fit, Malchus could fit, Quantarious would fit. As long as you're not a dwarf, we're good. Pick any species, any race. Definitely.
I don't know if the wiki can handle any more Einhards, so dwarves are off the table.
Right. Yeah. No more Ein. There's a lot of Einhards rolling around these days.
Cool. Evil cleric of I don't have like a good character concept in mind, but something will come up.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like corrupt merchant type, right? Like a moneylender or
well, like there are corrupt merchants that our quest is going to revolve around you getting
the chosen
rid of.
Corrupt merchant.
Yeah.
I like, what does an evil cleric of Quantarious look like? Someone who's tipping the scales, or like.
Well, someone's coming to you being like, hey, there are these corrupt dwarves who are causing all these problems via monopolies and vertical integration. And they've got like extra dwarf only settlements outside where they've got like resource monopolies. And these dwarves are a problem.
Breaking up the monopolies and
Yeah.
leveling the playing field in the name of capitalism,
and getting rid of
deregulating the economy.
Yeah, and we got to get rid of these dwarves who are doing these like monopolies. We got to kick them out of the city or something, because they've already got their like dwarf only zones, and we need to just show them that you can't come and fuck with the economy of Premier City.
So is an evil cleric of Quantarious like a diehard capitalist?
I'm not certain. Evil is only in the means of like you're willing to break some skulls or do whatever it takes to solve problems, that you're not going to go through like peaceful litigation methods. You could be diehard capitalist. Maybe an evil cleric of Quantarious is actually a communist.
Radical communist.
Yeah. You can choose your economic model as long as it's
interesting. Okay. So deeply principled on some end of some spectrum.
As long as you're radical, dude.
Yeah. And no regard for human life in that framework, right? Like money. Money is everything.
Well, I mean, obviously, economics plays a huge role in life. And if you have to kill a couple of people to create a more stable economic system, that's going to help people in the long run.
In the long run. And so, it's really more utilitarian, right?
Right.
If you kill a few people now for the prosperity of millions in the future.
Exactly. Right. It's not an evil thing. It's just a practical, helpful thing.
Got it. Okay. Sort of brainstorming new character ideas. I had a few Clerics of Jexel ideas in the back of my head, but I think this Quantarious thing sounds like it will fit in better with the campaign. So maybe I don't. My initial response to Neal's request was, I'll play a 5e Cleric of Jexel if I can take the lucky feat. I don't know if Quantarious needs any luck, or if that's appropriate here. So maybe I'm already backing down.
Well,
is there like a character builder built into Roll20? Is this just going to be super easy mode?
There is a character built into Roll20. You can use it if you want, or you can ignore it and do whatever you want.
Like my 5e knowledge is probably not good enough to just like spitball a level 7 character without something. Got a player's handbook right here, but
I've assigned you a character sheet.
Oh, sweet. Roll20 has changed a lot. Okay, Cleric of Quantarious.
Yeah, there have been some really nice updates and some.
Yeah. I've heard this is the first D&D session I played in a year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to create this character? Use the Charactermancer, create an NPC, edit sheet directly. My instinct is to edit sheet directly, but that sounds like it could.
Well, the compendium has a really nice way of managing 5e character classes. You can just...
If you edit it sheet directly, or if you use the Charactermancer?
I don't know.
Can I start with the Charactermancer and then go edit later? I have a feeling if I edit it directly, we'll spend the next 2 hours tweaking this character.
Maybe. Just try the Charactermancer. Let's just see. I don't know.
Let's just see. Okay. Next.
Spectator over here is going to open up your character sheet so we can watch what you do.
It's something loading. It's loading. We'll see. So what kind of cleric class or cleric domain, is that the word, would suit this? Jexel was obviously going to be a trickster domain, but Quantarious might need something more obscure. I think it might have crashed. I'm going to try closing my character sheet and opening it again. There's music. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got an adventure supply.
All right, choose a race. Obviously, Dragonborn. Just kidding. Human.
Human, elf, halfling, gnome.
We're going to go with human.
Please. Thank you.
Gnomes and halflings are cute, but no. It looks like I don't have, or do you not have a bunch of crazy books?
I don't know what books I have in
Roll20. Arakoa was not an option, nor was a Warforged half vampire, half dragon.
I don't remember which books I have through Roll20. It's probably just a few, so thankfully we'll be limited in choices.
Okay, so am I lawful neutral or lawful evil? Like alignment is so weird. I don't think he would see himself as lawful neutral. You could probably even play lawful neutral to the point where it becomes like, right, if your law in this case is that like economic prosperity is the ultimate good and it will lead to all other goods and human life is subservient to a prosperous economy.
And then you just abide by those laws because you're lawful neutral and you're not going to put your thumb on the scale. Then, you're following the laws of an evil area. Yeah. I don't know. Alignment's a weird concept. I don't like it. Pick whatever you want.
All right. So there's standard human. Is custom the one that will give me an extra feat? Is that how it works?
Probably.
Or... Oh, God. So to choose... I guess for level 7, I can just choose a feat later. Because as soon as you click custom, you're like making your own race. So weird. Like I feel like there should be a variant human to choose a feat at level 1.
I would think so. I don't know. Which did you end up picking?
There's standard human is the only option. Otherwise, you wind up making your own race.
Okay. I was hoping that.
And then obviously we're going to take a level in Warlock and a level in Paladin.
You got the stats. You can do whatever you want, bud.
Cleric skill proficiencies. Persuasion. Although 5e has a lot of unnecessary min-maxing, like the order that you choose your proficiency in at character create, like which ones come from your race and which ones come, or which come from your class and which come from. Yeah. Anyways. Got religion, history, insight. History seems useless at this stage of humanity.
The world's less than 100 years old, so.
What is insight?
How well you can read people.
Yeah, you don't have any, or I know I don't have any books. All I can choose as a divine domain is life.
What?
Or custom. So is there a way to
Okay, I must hold on.
I think you probably haven't pushed your
yeah, there's probably
I definitely
a
do not
setting where I
believe in
can
life.
share all of my books with you or something.
It should be with the campaign, I think, or with the whatever they call this.
Yeah, let's see. Game settings. Content sharing. Share my content with the players.
That might be where variant human comes in, because I think it looks like it doesn't even have the player's handbook. This is
refresh the
SRD
game.
rules.
Yeah. If you refresh the game, everything should flow.
Oops. Whoa. Oh, where'd the music go?
You refresh, right?
So is Discord integration not done yet? That's a future
That's
thing?
something that they're working on, and it seems like it's going to be pretty cool. Wait, why did it not save?
Did it not save what I was building or what I was working on, or
I don't
do I need
know.
a new character?
It didn't save that I was sharing my content with you. Okay, now
Should
it's
I refresh
saved.
again.
Refresh again. Refresh all the things. There we go. Okay, now it's working. So if you go back, you can probably pick variant human now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I...
Oh yeah, there you go. There's 10 million
Oh god, yeah,
options.
here's all the Asimar, Yuanti, Pureblood. Good stuff. There's the variant
Okay.
human.
Nice. You're picking variant.
And that would give me a feat at I mean, that might be more feats than I want, but let's. And with all of your compendium stuff, I'm gonna have so many things.
It'll be beautiful.
Tavern Brawler. Observant sounds good. You can, if you take Variant Human and up your Wisdom and then take Observant, you can get +2 Wisdom at level 1.
Yep.
Does that sound legit?
Yep.
Keen Mind also sounds interesting. That's cheating, but or like
Which
that's
one is
like
it?
the demon. That's you can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month.
Oh.
It's like, hey DM, I forgot that quest lead. Could you please remind me? But it's like you always know which way is north. You know the number of hours left before sunrise or sunset.
Wow. What a useful trait. I would love that.
Get the opposite. Observant +5 to passive perception and passive intelligence. Okay, so Quantarious, probably wisdom and charisma, right? Skill proficient. Oh, and then here's the one that here's where I can choose any proficiency I want. Deception, intimidation, perception. I get more of these somewhere else, right?
You get some based on your class, some based on your race.
So this is okay.
But as a human, and some based on your background. Right?
Yeah,
so
okay, the background is the one that hasn't come yet. Background is third? Okay, fine. I feel like background should be the first thing you choose.
You would think background before
Cleric,
class.
skill proficiencies, here we go. Cleric, new persuasion. Okay. Religion. I think that's what I did last time. Alright, here's the divine domains. I don't know if I can handle these. Is it Xanthar's guide? Like, I don't even know what that is. Forge domain, knowledge domain. I mean, those sound more relevant, but I don't know what they even do.
Forge domain, I think, allows you to be like an artificer and make stuff.
Which could be appropriate, but it's probably more research than I need to do. I don't know.
Sounds like it could be fun. If you're trying to be making potions of love and potions of sleep and potions of clumsiness, it might work out.
It's also knowledge. You have any idea? Wait, knowledge is in the PHP?
Yeah, I think that's a standard.
No. Is there like an updated PHP?
Nope.
Tempest?
Tempest is not PHP, but knowledge is. It
says PHP. I think there may be either an updated PHP.
Maybe. God, you know, I haven't played 5e in so long. I mean, I actually played.
Here's Tempest.
I don't do anything.
Life. What does knowledge do? Knowledge. Command and identify at level 1. That's interesting. Knowledge is sweet. It gives you extra proficiencies. Gives you identify. Knowledge of the ages. You get proficiency with as an action. Oh, it's a channel divinity to get proficiency with any skill or tool.
Forge Domain
is-
allows you to turn one of your pieces of armor or weapon into a +1 item until you take a long rest.
That
You
sounds
can also
stupid.
create any non-magical item that includes some metal, a simple or martial weapon, a suit of armor, some ammunition, tools, or other metal object.
Not
You have to
coins.
set-
I assume they specifically call out.
The things you create can be worth something that is no more than 100 GP. As part of this ritual, you must lay out metal, which can include coins with a value equal to the creation. So, like,
Okay.
you can bypass the craftsmanship and just do it yourself. You lay out the coins and you make the thing you want.
That sounds kind of appropriate, actually.
And at 6th level, you gain resistance to fire, and you get a +1 to AC if you're wearing heavy armor.
Hmm.
8th level, but we won't get to 8th level. And then for spells,
What-
you get Identify, Searing Smite. At
You do
first
get
level.
Identify. Okay. Sounds kind of similar to Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
In the spell list, at least. Man, instead of Searing. I don't think we're going to be bashing in heads in heavy armor. So a lot of the class features there are...
Yeah, they're pretty combat focused, and I don't know how much. Well, a lot of
I
5e is
like
combat
the-
focused, so.
I like the swapping... that seems like a Quantarious thing, trading gold for
Or gear, yeah.
gear. I'll start going down Forge Domain and see. But it seems like the baseline is, yeah, heavy armor and... Forge or page. Doesn't seem like there's a great Quantarious domain.
Yeah.
Forge feels like Sayor.
Mm-hmm.
We'll roll with Forge for now and see. Ability score method. Thoughts?
Ooh, I like rolling dice.
Yeah, I do too.
That's my thoughts.
The only options are for. Can I manually type in stats?
Once your
Shoot.
character sheet is made, you'll be able to adjust
Or I can
your
do
stats.
custom. I can just input ability scores. Cool.
Isn't there a roll
should
for
I-
stats method?
What's that?
Under the
When you
ability
roll for stats, it gives you the option to 46 drop the lowest or clear assignment.
Okay. Well,
I don't. Do we want four? I mean, we
Do
might do
it.
46 drop the
yeah, it's
lowest,
the beginning of the world. You're a special cleric.
but I want to roll real dice. You rolled your
Wow.
dice. Check the chat window to view your results. There's a 17 in there, which is great.
That's great. Those are really good stats.
If this were 2E, I guess I don't know, I'm looking for a combination of 2E, 5E. Because, like, I think I'll have +2 wisdom at level 1.
Yeah,
and
that's
ability
pretty
score
standard.
improvement.
It's pretty standard in 5e
+2?
to have +2
To have
or 3 at
19
first
as
level.
your. To have 19 in your stat at first level. I guess it could be 20.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No. Yeah. Normally you would max out around
It should be.
17.
I guess
is
with
usually
46, I guess you can roll an 18.
yeah.
And in
you
principle, you
could
can have
up to a
20 if you have the right race or feat
Right.
combination.
Right. By rolling a 17, you're going to have the possibility of having your stat 2 higher than would typically be allowed.
So we'll do 17 wisdom, 15 charisma. If I do low strength, does that limit my heavy armor? I don't know that I want heavy armor, but I feel like if I have efficiency, I should at least... I got a player's handbook, I can look it up. Right, do you need like 15 strength to have heavy armor or something like that?
There is a ruling vis-a-vis... yeah, for heavy armor, you do have minimum requirements.
Half plate
chainmail needs 13 strength. Splint needs 15. Plate needs 15. But half plate, medium armor doesn't need it, and ring mail doesn't need it.
Mm-hmm. Then what are the cutoffs for pluses? 15, 16 is plus...
At even numbers, the pluses go up. So 12, 14, 16, 18 are where you get your improvements.
I feel like I don't want low intelligence, right?
No one ever wants low intelligence.
Oh, and it didn't... so we want low con. Is 7 a -1 or is 7 just flat? 7 might be a -1, huh?
7's a -1. 10 and 11 are 0. 8 and 9 are -1. 6 and 7 are -2.
So 7 is -2?
7 is -2.
So we want low con, low dex. Maybe low intelligence, just so I can ignore cognitive dissonance and blindly follow my moral code.
Yes, blindly follow your deity.
I think it's going to be like I don't think he'll be. I don't think with high charisma and high wisdom you wouldn't think he's dumb on interacting with him for the most part. Mm-hmm. And like persuasive and like his wisdom is like it's like thoughtful. He's got like aphorisms and like.
You're essentially making Ayn Rand as a character.
Maybe. I haven't decided whether we're capitalist or communist, but it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're someone. You're one of these, economic philosophers of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Not to dunk too heavily on Ayn Rand, whose books I've never read.
Really? She's definitely not I think calling her an economic philosopher is a stretch. She's a novelist who, if there was an internet back in the day, she would have dabbled in, online. She'd have a YouTube channel where she talked about whatever. All right. I think we're good. So 17 wisdom, 15 charisma, 14 strength, 13 dex, 13 con, 7 int. I know that was out of order. That was, I think, high to low. All right. And then I'll have all these pluses. So that gives me +1 wisdom, +1 charisma. Okay, and then I'll have feats. And then at what level do you get a stat bonus?
At level 4, you get a stat bonus or a feat.
Okay. That could get me up to 15 strength, which would get me armor if I need it. We got Acolyte and Charlatan looks like a good one. Mm-hmm. Guild Merchant.
Oh yeah, I like Acolyte
Guild Art.
of these.
So you're thinking I am an official cleric or something, or like a...
I think you're probably the cleric of Quantarious, the one and only in the area.
Yeah.
But you could do other things. You could do like noble or urchin.
So you don't think so he is a cleric of Quantarious. He's not like a merchant, right? He's not coming to town.
Right. You are the god's chosen vessel through which they speak and act. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Insight religion. How does it work giving me a proficiency back? So I think I picked religion earlier in the character mancer. Do I have language? I don't need these language proficiencies, I don't think.
I think at the end of the day, you'll just have a character sheet and you can make any adjustments. So if you're short a thing, we'll just give it to you.
And is there another language that would be appropriate? Dwarvish?
Elven,
Elvish.
dwarven, halfling, gnome.
I do not need. I mean, we've got plenty of personality traits, but I don't think choosing them from this drop-down list is particularly helpful.
No, I think you're probably a good enough player to make your own personality. But if you want to choose them, you know.
Seems interesting, but okay. How would you like to choose your equipment? Probably just class equipment.
Yeah.
Mace or Warhammer. Warhammer is better. I don't know if I'm proficient in a Warhammer. Right? How do I know if I'm proficient? That's a martial weapon. I don't think I have martial weapon proficiencies. I think it's just.
Double check. Forge domain might come with.
I think it just had heavy armor, but not weapons. I'm going to take a bio break, but we can keep the stream going.
Well, I also need one, so why don't we do it together, and
Okay,
we'll see everyone on the other side of our little break.
Okay, it can literally be 2 minutes or something. 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. So,
Hello. Cranking through character creation. Got a Forge Cleric of Quantarious. I have, I think, selected more or less my equipment. Probably doesn't matter that much. Onto spells. And it probably gets a lot more complicated.
Have you
once we start adding levels
yet?
I have not. I think it starts you at level 1 and then you add levels, right?
Gotcha.
It's weird that I shouldn't have to choose spells, right? This is what I memorize, isn't it?
Right. You're choosing the spells that you have currently prepared.
Okay. What is ceremony? Is that where you marry the characters to give everyone a +1 bonus?
Yes. Been banned.
It's been banned?
I would never again. We did it once upon a time for funsies in The Legend of Yaka, and that's it. Never again. Marriage is a sacred right. You shouldn't be mass marrying people just so everybody gets a +1.
Polygamist cult to give everyone +1 on everything. I feel like these don't matter that much. All right, choose a feat. Oh God, there's so many.
Oh no.
Wood elf magic, of course.
But you can't do. You're not a wood elf.
It's on the list, Neal. I can choose it.
Oh
Bountiful luck. Is that better than lucky?
I have no idea.
Prerequisite halfling. Okay. Yeah, let's use your halfling luck on an ally or something. All right. I was looking for observant, unless I find something else here that's even more relevant. Oh, you choose int or wisdom. Got it. I thought it was both, but either way, that's still pretty good. Any other feats that seem relevant? There's Prodigy. It's probably just skills.
I think Prodigy gives you 3 additional. No, Skilled gives you 3 additional skilled. Prodigy might give you expertise.
Oh, it gives you expertise, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of cute. That's usually a rogue thing or something. God, why? Some of these, like, squat nimbleness, I don't know what it does, but I don't know why it's in. Why they made a whole feat based on that.
You are uncommonly nimble for your race. You gain the following. You have to be a dwarf or another small race.
Mm-hmm.
Your speed goes up by 5. You increase your strength or dex. You gain acrobatics or athletics. And you have advantage on acrobatics or athletics to escape from being grappled. Jesus, that's so strong.
Okay.
It just essentially turns a dwarf into a human. You lose all the penalties for being small, essentially. And then get some, like, you know... Oh, 5e. What a wonderful, fun... You know, if you're just here to play some fun games and you're not worried about the long-term ramifications of conceptual stat modifiers like this, then 5e is a wonderful, beautiful system. Which one did you end up picking?
Observant.
So I can't actually see the changes that you make as you
Oh,
make
really?
them.
Until I save it?
No, I have to refresh the page and then reopen your character sheet to see where your progress is. So I'm constantly just refreshing Roll20.
If I click apply, let's see. I think I can apply changes. You're editing an existing, so it is giving you the error. I've double chosen religion.
Oh.
So how do I fix that? I think I just want to click apply changes and then edit it later.
Mm-hmm.
Building my character.
Okay, did you hit apply changes?
I did, yes. It's
Okay.
building. The red bar is ticking.
Oh.
I'm shrouded in darkness. All right, there we go.
Did you name
so I
yourself Father Prosper?
For now, I haven't thought of a good Quantarious name. I was thinking Jexel all week. So, all right. So I'm gonna give myself perception. Instead of religion. There's probably some wrangling of backgrounds involved, but I'm not gonna worry about it. What else we? As in, like, so I had doubled religion.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't know where I would have had to. Maybe I would have had. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine.
Somewhere in the cleric list, there's like a list of proficiencies. It's fine for our
I don't know if
purposes.
was perception on that list. It probably was. Human can pick anything.
Oh,
and I
that's
think
right.
I got decept.
Yeah, your human skill can pick anything, so it's fine. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah, that's. I wasn't worrying about it. He made me worry about it.
It's what I do best.
Okay, so I think we're good. Now we just want to upgrade levels. Where do we do that? Do I have to edit to level up, or
I think there's a gear icon.
or there's a
on the
little
upper
button
right-hand
next
corner.
to Character Mancer level up? All right.
Ah, there you go.
Welcome. Click next. All right, so this just took me to level 2, level plus. What level are we going for?
Let's just do 5, so it doesn't take forever to level.
So 1 plus 4, to level 5. I should roll HP, right? It kind of takes the fun out of it when you. Oh, that sucks.
Wow.
That was only like 1 less than average, but still kind of sucked. Oh no, it's 1 less than average because I have +1 con or something like that.
But those rolls don't include your con bonuses.
No.
Those are just flat D8s.
Oh, okay. So it's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm not multi-classing. I was saying clicking these buttons to roll takes the fun out of rolling.
It
right?
does.
You just press 1 button and it rolls you 5 levels of hit points.
Ugh.
Are we gonna have problems if I only have 27 HP?
Nah.
All right, so 2nd level you get Channel Divinity, and I get it's the Artisan's Blessing. That's the, like, you trade money for something.
Probably.
Ability score improvement. You can increase 2 of your abilities by 1 or 1 by 2. It will not let me go to 21 wisdom.
Nope, you max out at 20 for any given
I
stat.
think here I go 15 strength to
20 wisdom.
get heavy armor if I need it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Although adding to con or dex would give me a +1 to things. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't imagine I'm ever going to wear heavy armor, but anyways. All right. I get another cantrip. Is that the thing at some level?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of
somewhere
4. What is Word of Radiance? Sounds stupid, but I don't know. Is this some...
It's just a cantrip damage spell, I think.
5 feet, though. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range.
Oh.
That's, like... That is pretty sweet. I don't think I need combat spells, but...
Each creature within 5 feet of you gets saved. Yeah. So if you're surrounded by enemies all of a sudden...
Mm-hmm. How does vision? You've got 360 vision in 5e, right? Like when they say see, they mean like the light conditions are such that if you looked at them, you could see them.
Yes.
Or you're assumed to just be constantly spinning around and looking around or something like that.
If you were surrounded by 8 characters, you could Word of Radiance all 8 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe resistance.
I imagine you do one of those like magical girl transformations from Sailor Moon that you spin around while you cast your spell and it blesses and burns everyone nearby.
Add 10 new spells. Goodness gracious. Here's where I get overwhelmed. Animate dead. Sure.
Should've just made you a fighter.
Right? Still cursed before born. I don't know enough to know what spells I want. Got too much power, Neal.
Well,
These are just prepare them any day, right?
Yeah, you can change it with a long rest, which is we're doing slightly different resting rules. So a long rest is a week of downtime. But this is kind of a nice, easy character mancer, like, you know, just some check boxes. Here's all the things you have to select. Maybe I haven't been giving the character mancer enough credit over the years.
It's pretty good. Yeah. All right, the only thing I need to do then is spells. I don't do enough 5e. We can spend the whole session just reviewing 3rd level cleric spells.
Well, I think the violence in this session will be in the mid to low, maybe, depending on how you want to run it. So if you want to pick a bunch of combat spells and just blast some dwarves around, that's great. And if you wanted to pick some like spying spells and not actually blow anyone up, that's also great.
I think I'm basically done. I mean, I can always, like, if something happens, I can always, like, pray and come back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Five these spells are way less interesting than 2e. Like, they're all super balanced and they're all pretty much combat spells.
Mm-hmm. Did you get them all?
I haven't picked any.
Oh. You picked ceremony, you son of a bitch. It's fine. It's fine.
I was mostly memeing, and then now I've got to pick 10 more. So.
Right, because it's your wisdom modifier plus your level. So you're level 5 with 20 wisdom, so it's a total of 10 spells. Yeah.
Oh, and it's my crazy wisdom that's giving me all these spells, right? I can like memorize a number of spells equal to my wisdom mod plus my level or something.
Yep.
Glyph of Warding has an essay about it, but it sounds like it might be something that
Glyph of Warding?
That a Cleric with Quantarious might do. Buttered Diamond, what is it?
Glyph of Warding.
It's like you let's make all these triggers. Okay, basically explosive runes.
Yeah.
Spell glyph. You can store a prepared spell of 3rd level or lower in the glyph. Just target a single creature. That's interesting.
So you store a spell and then you create conditions, and then the spell happens upon condition.
What happens when the spells? Let's see. Duration until dispelled or triggered. Does it like lock up the spell slot while it's done, or can you just? Is the only limit the 200 GP?
I think it's just stored with the 200 GP. I think you could spend a year creating 1,000 glyphs or 360 glyphs. Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, you could Glyph of Warding with something mundane for FTL communications, where you like Glyph of Warding with a light spell or something, and then you've got one spell slot locked up. And then when someone wants to communicate a binary message to you, they just trigger the non whatever spell, and now you've gained information from great distances.
Wait, say that again. So you're saying it would be OP if it took up a spell slot?
Yeah, if it took up a spell slot, then it would also serve as a communication spell where you could use it to communicate a signal across infinite distance and planes.
They balance this based on combat. They don't balance it based on world-breaking quantum communications.
To me, I care about the world-breaking quantum communications. I don't care about the combat. It does a little bit extra damage, fine. That's great. It allows instant communication over vast distances. It allows a perfect signal to be sent to anyone, anywhere. I don't know about that.
I don't think I have any combat spells. My combat spell is mace. Oh, and then what are my forge domain spells? Where can I see that list? I think we're basically ready when it finishes building this. Let's see. Didn't do any like descriptions of my character. Where can I see spell list? Is there like a spells tab? Oh, there it is. Spells.
Yeah, and also, oops, that's not the right chat. Here is the Regal Goblins 5e spell list if you.
Oh, I want to know what. I'm just curious what my cleric domains. My. It's like elemental weapon domain? And protection. Forge, yeah. Elemental weapon, non-magical weapon just becomes a magical weapon.
Protection from energy, magic weapon, heat metal, searing smite, and identify.
What are the? Oh, it's only every other level that you get class spells. Is that
yeah?
case?
first, third, and fifth, and then you get first, second, and third
is
spells.
heat metal and magic weapon. What's the difference between magic weapon and elemental weapon?
Magic weapons +1, elemental weapon. I have no idea.
Oh wait, okay, it's +1 bonus, but it's not magic. +1 bonus and D4
damage.
Magic weapon makes it a magic weapon. So elemental, the level 1 elemental weapon is actually better unless you need magic weapons to hit, or you need, or there's
elemental
damage
weapon's a
resistances.
3rd level spell.
Elemental weapon is a. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the tabs wrong. Magic weapon is a 2nd level spell.
Right.
Okay.
An elemental weapon, a non-magic weapon you touch becomes a magic weapon. So elemental weapon is just magic weapon with more damage.
But better.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's why I was confused. I was reading the level slots wrong. Unless there is a resistance, right? To damage type.
Right.
Okay, but it's only the extra damage that's the chosen type. Cool. So I don't have like I don't have like my height, my weight, and my eye color.
Oh, the most important parts of your character. Okay, while you sort these things out, I'm going to go refill my coffee cup, but I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't actually need to sort them out, but Yo, chat. Can't see what you're saying, but you can sort it out for me, right? Green eyes. Let's see. We go. I can. All right, we do have chat on the phone. I'm not gonna be able to monitor it for the whole session, but I'm here. There we go. Rolling for characters. Okay, so we've got our level 5 Cleric of Quantarious. Father Prosper is his name, and he will be here to spread, I'm not sure, good fortune to all, whether that is
all right, we ready?
We're ready. Trying to think through my moral philosophies. Got chat on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Haven't decided anything about appearance.
Well, let's get you a token. So
yeah,
what are you thinking? You're a human.
Whether I like it or not, I've got chainmail.
Okay.
I'm mostly and these priestly vestments. So I think like looking like an official priest, right? With like vestments, like robes.
Mm-hmm.
Ceremonial robes, more or less, right?
Okay. A human with robes.
Got this symbol of Quantarious, which is the balanced scales or something like that.
Yep.
Hanging about my neck.
Let's see. Are you a bald or a hairy cleric? Or like the little circle of no hair on the top of the head?
I don't know if I need that, but I can be a bald. What is a? I think I got to decide whether I'm whether the ultimate good is unregulated free trade or radical wealth redistribution.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be more
I think radical free trade sounds more fun.
Yeah.
You know, evil communist is such a played out plot. Let's do
okay. So I'm not going to be coming in busting up monopolies. I will be.
Well, the monopolies are impeding free trade, right?
One could argue if that is the more interesting plot point. Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way: someone is hiring you or coming to you with the problem that there are these dwarves that are monopolizing the markets and asking you to do something about it. Now, in traditional D&D, typical D&D fashion, you can ignore the quest, or you could do the quest in reverse, and you could back up the dwarves and their monopolies if you want. I don't care how it ends up. I just want to have a good time doing it. So your call on whether the dwarven monopolies are good or bad.
I guess we'll have to investigate and find out. This token is okay.
Yeah, I've got others. I just got distracted.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking like medieval equivalent then of like a 3-piece suit with gold chain, maybe a cigar.
Okay.
I guess I'm not actually a merchant. I'm like the.
What about this guy?
Like... Whoa. I don't know about his face, but that looks pretty blingin'.
We'll be pretty zoomed out, so the face won't show up too well. What else?
Actually, the one above that looks pretty blingin' too.
Oh yeah, the purple guy. He's pretty bomb.
Actually, I'm kind of feeling that.
It's nice.
Crazy hat.
Yeah, this guy's a little bit old, the one that I'm posting now. But if you ignore the age, he's not terrible. And then if you wanted to be like maybe too cool.
Too cool.
This dude.
What does that mean? I'm thinking like 4 out, the guy with the Assyrian beard.
Yep. Perfect. Love him.
Random ass paintbrush.
That's not a paintbrush, that's a swagger stick that he uses to keep people in line.
Swagger stick, I like it.
That's a term. It's a real term.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing, I swear. I'm not making it up.
You will see, chat. You don't get the selection, but you will see Father Prosper and his swagger stick. And his magnificent beard that is oiled with only the finest of oils. Let's see.
Okay, and if we drop Father Prosper onto our map, there we go.
So, like, how do we rationalize so if I'm pro, like, unrestricted, I think it's got to be, like, doing more, like, logical somersaults to be using freedom as a cudgel, right?
I don't know. People have been doing that for a long time. Napoleon used freedom as a cudgel, and so have many others. I'm sure you're an intelligent and creative person. I'm sure you can abuse freedom somehow.
So, like, if it's morally evil to interfere in the market, in the freedom of individuals to choose how they spend their human capital, except for me, right? I'm the chosen one of Quantarious, so I'm here to. Am I the one that's going around meddling and, like, righting these wrongs, or?
You are the regulator, right? So you can decide where regulation
is wrong. Is this like a regulation is wrong unless you are the chosen one of Quantarious, or is it like?
These are decisions for you to make, because if you could say that you are the regulator, or your job as regulator is to dismantle anyone who's attempting to regulate. You're the deregulator.
I think that's kind of where I was going, but then trying to, like, go. I got 7 intelligence, right? So I can. It doesn't matter if it's logically consistent.
Right. 7.
My job as the regulator is to deregulate, and.
The deregulator. All right.
There you go.
Well then, why don't we take a short break while I flesh out just a couple of details, and then we'll come back in about 5-ish minutes with the beginning of our session. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. We've got our character. Did we ever get a name for you, Father Prosper?
Father Prosper. The chosen of Quantarious.
Excellent.
Here to ensure that the scales are truly balanced, so that all of humanity may prosper.
Excellent. And here we are in Premier City, the greatest city on the face of the planet. It might also be the only city on the face of the planet, but that's not the point. The point is that it's the best. And you're going about your day doing the sorts of things you would normally do. Our campaign sets off, is going to start off today, when a frequent customer of yours, a merchant who runs the Cobblers Guild, that's the Shoemakers Guild, by the name of Francesca, comes by to pick up a couple more love potions. She's a frequent buyer of love potions from you. And you have access to make these because you're a high-ranking cleric who... it's a thing that you can make. You can also make sleep potions, potions of clumsiness, a few other things here and there. You don't do healing, though. That's for someone else. Yeah, as she's buying some potions from you and paying out the appropriate coinage, she tells you that, well, Father Prosper, I have an issue for you. As I'm the head of the Cobblers Guild, and you, a great cleric of Quantarious, there's a problem that I have. A problem I've been trying to deal with on my own. I don't ever want to abuse the gods' powers or make them think that we're not capable of working for ourselves. But this has become a problem that has exceeded my reach. You see, within this city, there is a cabal of dwarves creating a conspiracy to corner markets and create economic depression through monopolies and through inappropriate use of mercantile power. And I thought that you, the divine cleric of Quantarious, god of trade and exchanges, might be especially interested in the market manipulation happening within our great city.
Manipulation, you say?
Yes.
Well,
intentional.
Tis Quantarious' duty to ensure that the scales are balanced, that all of humanity is free with opportunities to prosper, to thrive, or not if their offerings are not just. But there is nothing more wicked than to contrive to deprive another's freedom.
I thought
their own prosperity.
I thought you would say the same, something like that. There are three major factors at play here. The first of these factors is one of my own guild members, the Cobblefeet dwarves. They have a shop. They make shoes of various kinds, but they have played unfairly. They have family members up in the mountains who have access to precious gemstones, the likes of which no one else can get a hold of because they are locked behind dwarven familiarity. They only trade these gemstones with other dwarves from their extended family, and they won't sell them to other merchants. And with these gemstones that are locked outside of free trade, they've been able to make some of the most expensive and fanciful shoes in the city, prohibiting other craftsmen from working with them. I know it sounds contrived, fancy shoes with gems, but the the cost of these fancy shoes is a fortune. We're talking hundreds or thousands of gold for a pair of shoes. But no one else can compete in this market because they don't have access to the free trade of the gems that make these. The cobble feet are not here in the city right now. And I think a message in their shop telling them that their trade is known to be unscrupulous.
You presume much of me that I will judge in your favor. Are these cobble feet not your competition?
I run
How
the
am I
Cobbler's
to know
Guild.
You are not. Okay.
It's my guild members beneath me who are blocked from competition.
Mm-hmm.
But I trust in your divine judgment, great wise cleric.
If they are truly conspiring with these jewelers to prevent free access to their wares, that is concerning. But I cannot take your word for it. I must weigh the matters myself.
Of course. The second issue is the Dwarven Trade Union. They call it the Belts and Roads Union. They sell belts
and roads.
They make the roads in town, and they make the belts for the people. All long, thin things that wrap and bind and facilitate. And this,
I'm sure I'm familiar with the roads union, right? Like that is the roads are the lifeblood of trade, right?
These dwarves have similarly access to fine aggregate that is once again produced from the dwarves in the mountains and is otherwise nearly impossible to get. The process of breaking up stones specifically to build roads is laborious and expensive, but when you're getting free agate from
aggregate, I think is a mineral. Agate.
Yeah. Okay. Aggregate.
Aggregate is okay. Anyway.
When you're getting free aggregate from the mines up in the mountains and then cheaply importing that, and again, no one has access to the aggregate. Only the Dwarven Trade Union here, the Belts and Roads Union, can build roads cost effectively, barring anyone else from actually competing in this market. And lastly,
so if I were to approach these dwarves and attempt to purchase aggregate or gemstones, you were saying they would not sell it?
That is correct. Not unless you are of dwarven blood yourself. And that seems most unfair. That seems unholy.
Downright racist.
Yes. I didn't want to say it myself, but... and lastly, we have the one who makes all these things possible. The dwarf on the city council. His name is Duster, and he is old. Well, as old as anyone can be in this day and age, but he will live a very long time. This council seat is for life, and so he will serve this council, and his corruption will infect this council for generations to come. Duster the dwarf.
This is the first I'm hearing of Duster, and
how much attention do you think Father Prosper pays attention to local politics, which at this point in time are just called politics because
probably not a ton directly. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, well, the city council building is down over here.
Where's the market? So I'm thinking I think I'm probably posted up near the market, unless you're saying this was in my house or something. Like I think I've maybe got a market stall.
Yeah,
where I spend most of my time offering services.
There's like an informal market that shows up down here, but most trade at this point is happening out of people's houses. Like you go to the cobbler's house, and occasionally people will come in like in a forum style area to advertise wares and to like do business dealings, but all real sales are happening in shops, which are
Okay,
double
so
as people's homes.
So maybe I have a small shop somewhere in the vicinity of this market area. How
Yeah.
do I do? Is this this guy? Okay, so somewhere in the vicinity of the
Yeah,
market,
why
I've
don't
got a small
we?
shop where I sell potions and offer other services for trade, of
Yeah.
course. I don't know how
You
most I don't know how most clerics feel about selling their services, but so maybe I'm one of the few that's willing to like cast spells for coin or something like that.
Clerics got to make a living, and
Yeah.
so I think it's pretty reasonable for a cleric to use their divine powers that they are met with appropriate donations for their divine powers.
Yeah.
Right, and you only have so many, so you're just gonna every coin you get helps improve your god's station in the world because it's a coin you can invest into greater statues and services. So there's nothing inherently wrong with selling access to divine power, right?
Yeah.
Certainly, that's what the HMO of Martha thinks.
Well then.
I don't know what sort of donation you would like, Father Prosper, for dealing with these three conspiratorial concepts of corruption within our divine city.
No. This is outside of the realm of my usual services. If what you say is true, then these matters may interest Quantarious most directly. But that love potion will be the usual. What does a love potion cost? 10 gold?
Check that way up. 50, 100, something like that. Yeah. She will quickly pull out a few bags of gold and silver, leave them on the table for you after making sure that all the numbers are right.
What is it? Healing potion costs 25 gold or something?
Ooh, I think a healing potion
surely
does.
Love is more valuable than a few hit points.
Absolutely. You definitely need to be higher level to make love potions.
Really? But what do you need to make a healing potion?
Probably just some like cure light wound spells or something like that. Potion of healing is 50 gold, so I think a love potion's at least double.
All right then.
Yeah, she'll lay out her silver and gold for you. Take her love potions, and head back out.
Reminding you that another 100 gold to my character sheet.
Yes, reminding that if you need anything from her, if you have any more questions for her, you can find her at her shop, her guild hall, which is, I'm going to mark it on the map. It's right over here, and I'm going to drag us to it. I'll put it in.
So is she a cobbler herself, or is she just runs the cobbler's guild?
No, she just runs the guild. She couldn't put a shoe together to save her life.
Okay.
She's the woman in charge.
How do you get there without cobbling?
Money, organization. You get all the cobblers together. Yep. She provides a certain amount of insurance. Any shoes made through the union that are defective or whatever, you can go to the cobblers union and get money back for them, and you can deal with file with them any complaints. The cobblers union is quite powerful now. All shoes are made through them.
Right. I thank her for the knowledge, and I will investigate. So I think the councilman thing sounded like that didn't sound like there was much there. That sounded more like a personal gripe, at least from what she didn't give any particular, I don't know, ill deeds. But these dwarves that are refusing to sell their wares on the open market and instead price fixing with their cousins at a lower rate, corner the market. If that is indeed happening, it sounds suspect. So we've got there were sounded like two different situations. There are some gems in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gem mine in the mountains and the aggregate is it also coming from the same place, or
Same town in the mountains. The town's called Ignition.
Am I familiar with
told you
this
that.
place, or?
No, she probably would have mentioned it, and I just forgot to.
Okay. Then I think I will close up shop and head to see this Ignition place.
All right. It's a few days out of town, but it can be easily walked to through the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get up our forest travel music. And you have gear, right? You have weapons and armor, and you're a full player character with.
Yeah, so I guess I wear a suit of chainmail. I got a big ass shield. I mean, sure. All right.
Okay. Here are my dice.
Blocks of incense. I think those are cases of cigars, right?
Right.
The mace. Feels a little silly, but hey, this is Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone's got a mace and a suit of chainmail.
Yeah, well, it's a dangerous part of the world. Like, monsters are showing up sometimes. And if you got to do any traveling out in the woods, there's dangerous things out there. It's not like it's a peaceful place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
End of my long rest, it is a suit of armor or a simple or martial weapon.
Yeah, so what are you giving yourself a bonus of hit and damage?
Yeah, I guess I give myself a bonus of 1 to AC. So I suppose every long rest I touch my chainmail and it becomes bejazzled and gives me +1 AC.
Bejazzled, not bedazzled?
Bejazzled. And what did you call my mace? Is it a swagger stick?
Yeah, well, that's the term for the stick that officers used to carry around to denote their rank and position.
Okay, so my mace is definitely a swagger stick.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes that's also bejazzled and a +1 weapon, but.
Ooh.
I guess it's not a wait. Oh, it becomes a magic item. Can you stack this stuff? So, like, if I use Blessings of the Forge plus, so that makes it +1 plus a magic weapon spell.
No, because it becomes a magic weapon, and weapon spell
says becomes a magic weapon with a +1 bonus. Okay,
but it has to be a non-magic weapon first. So
okay, so you can't stack magic weapon with Blessings of the Bejazzler.
Right.
Magic weapon up to 1 hour. Okay, and then elemental weapon, and these are all concentration. So actually, my class features pretty sweet, but I guess it's only 1. Okay.
All right. Through the forest, we set off.
Yeah, and I think I've got all my shit maybe in my shield, which I'm dragging behind me like a sled or something like that. I don't know. I can't imagine what. I don't know. D&D is so strange. All like decked out in armor with a huge shield.
Yeah.
Sure.
No?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Didn't people walk around with armor and shields once upon a time? Didn't armies conquer the world that way? I mean, not to... D&D is silly. I give you that 100%. Mm-hmm.
But this is the least silly aspect of it.
Yeah. Okay, good. You're not there. This what I want it to be? I think so.
What do you think so?
So you're walking along the road, doing your normal hanging out, traveling.
Mm-hmm.
This visible to everyone. Perfect. Can I get a perception check for you that needs to beat this creature's passive stealth?
You want an active perception check versus passive stealth, not a
actually no. You're right.
Perception.
They should make a stealth check versus your passive perception. What is your passive perception?
They fail 1,000,000. How do I find it? That it's like
it's on your character sheet.
18.
What? Oh, you have the
higher. I think it's actually
feat,
23.
Don't you?
I think it's 23. 18 is what it's. Yeah, I think it's 23. It's not including that +5 bonus to my passive perception. Is there a way to edit this?
Yeah.
So it's 18 and then +5 for observant. So it's 23.
It's
23.
23.
See all, Neal. Yeah.
Jesus. There's a way in the settings to change your passives. Maybe. Passive perception modifier +5. Okay. So passive perception of 23. Our creature can make this stealth check at advantage. But he's not skilled in stealth, so it's just going to be 2d20, drop the lowest, +2. They literally can't. 21's pretty close, but it doesn't beat a 23. So as you're walking through the woods, you can see, I'm going to bring us to a little spot over here. There is, can you see the woods, sir?
I can see the woods.
Right. So you're walking along the woods and there's this like dark crevice right over here. This like little crack in the earth that you wouldn't notice too much about, but you can see deep in the shadows with your highly observant passive perception of 23 that within that little crevice lurks a creature, lurks a monster of some kind. How much do you travel outside of the city?
Probably not a ton. I mean, these are like early days. I'm a cleric of trade, so I've probably traveled a bit, but it's not like most of my. I mean, Premier is the finest city in the land. Why would one need travel?
Exactly.
The trade flows to us.
Exactly. And so you don't know what this creature is then. It's just a thing. It's just a weird, it's got like a beak, and then next to its beak, it's kind of got these like floating little claws or mandibles or something, two above it and two below its, little beak. And it looks sort of snake-like or long looking, maybe sort of eel-like, lurking in this crack.
I guess cantrips are free, so why not? I spot the creature and I stop, and then I start dumping cantrips because I can. I illuminate my swagger stick with a light spell. And then I'm going to go forward to get a closer look. I think unless it's like rolling into initiative, I think next round I'm going to cast a thaumaturgy. And both of these just last a minute with no concentration.
Yeah, I think when you cast your first spell, your light spell, it doesn't really seem to give a shit. And then you cast thaumaturgy. Yeah,
so I think I just become more imposing, more obviously a cleric. The avatar of Quantarious on Earth, and I don't like my voice booms and
and I think it's
eyes
when
glow, and I say what? Yeah.
When you start doing this, the creature is more aware of your dangerous presence and is going to begin to come out of the rocks.
Look. Yeah, okay. I was approaching to get a closer look, stick my swag stick in its base to illuminate it, and
I'm not saying it's attacking you, but I'm saying it's coming out of the rocks to take a look at you. You can decide how you would like to react.
Yeah, I'm bearing my swagger stick with light. I was going to approach the crack, shine some light on it, boom my voice.
Would you roll into
hide from the judgment of Quantarious? What?
Would you open your character sheet and roll initiative for me? Yes, please.
Guess I'm not I guess I'll roll initiative with my weapon, but I think I'm just like. I think I am. If I roll initiative, I click I guess initiative is all the same, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where
it's just going to be on your character sheet. There's an initiative. There's a 1 for your initiative, and the text below that is what you click to roll it.
Okay, so it's faster than me. I'm like approaching it. I'm not expecting it to like. I'm thinking
sir.
I'm gonna.
This is 5th edition.
Oh,
higher is better. Yes.
Okay.
So you begin to see it
I
start
guess,
coming out of the cave a little bit when you react.
How do I grab my token? This one, and then if I hold Shift, will it count? Or how do I count out squares? Is it Alt?
Right click as you drag.
Oops. Oh, that's. There we go. So I guess I'm like approaching it with the intention of sticking my swag stick in the crevice and seeing what it is with the light. But he comes out, and what do I see?
Out.
Like a beak and.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it bigger just so you can get a better look at this thing. Now that you're close.
That's an abomination.
Yeah, it's got these suckers on these tentacles, and the
it like
tentacles
looks aggressive
end in,
as it like comes out of this. Okay. Oh,
the tentacles end in like
what...
weird spiky things. It's really long with a rubbery hide.
Okay, I don't think an 11 is gonna do it. I like try to bat it away.
No, you make your attack with an 11, and it just like cracks into the rubbery hide of this creature.
And in 5e, do I just have my shield all the time because OP?
I imagine it's more awkward to carry your shield on your back with your gear. It's probably easier just to carry it in your arm as you walk down the road. Because you could put it on your back, but if you have a backpack and then the shield on top of that is just going to be a mess. So it's, you've got it in hand.
What's the best way to change my armor class? Like, do I just manually change it? I assume it's calculating that somewhere, right?
Yeah, the 18.
I changed it to, it's 19 today.
Oh, because of your +1.
Yeah.
Armor.
But
Perfect.
I probably borked everything by manually changing it, but that's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. I think I'm surprised by the tentacles and the beak, and I bat my light in its face and.
Yes. Well, it does have this lovely little multi-attack where if it hits with its tentacles, it can make a beak attack against the same target. So it will start with its tentacles lashing out at you, trying to grip you with these suckers with spikes attached, and will actually roll very well. Good job, Grick. Wow. It will hit you for 10 points of damage. This might be a very short campaign, everyone. And then its beak will follow through with a natural 1, missing you entirely.
Jesus. Okay.
And we don't roll initiative each and every round, so it's top of initiative.
Next.
And you go next.
Casting time, 1 action. 1 bonus action on the magic weapon. That's probably... Unless, let's see, Searing Smite is also a bonus action. I think Searing Smite sounds better, actually. So let's see, how do I cast a spell? I click on it. At level 1. Higher levels. That's a shit ton. All right, how many spell slots do I have per level? I have 3 level. Fuck it. 3rd level. I don't need to roll the damage. It's a bonus action next time you hit. Oh, it's only 1. I thought it was... Okay, I see how it works. All right, whatever. So it's only 1 attack. But anyways, I Searing Smite at 3rd level as a bonus action, and then I swing at it with my swagger stick.
Let's see the roll to hit.
Guess the that's magic weapon would have been more permanent, but still figuring out this character. All right, swagger stick. Oh,
whoosh! A swing and a miss as the swagger stick goes sailing over the long, leathery, rubbery Grick with the tentacles and the claws.
But my swagger stick is on fire.
Yes.
Still, as long. Oh, I've got to concentrate. So let's hope it doesn't hit me again.
Well, here it will come with its tentacles once more with another high roll. It's rolling 16s all day, everybody. It will slash you with its tentacles for 8 points of damage. And then its beak will come in.
Holy shit. What is this?
It's really high damage rolls for 5. Wow. really great attack. That's 3 16s out of 4 dice rolls.
What is happening now? All right,
I don't know, but you need to make me 2 concentration saving throws.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I guess I might as well.
You just need a 10 or higher on con.
How do I just do a con?
Yeah, it's a con.
Just do con.
Yep, and yep,
Okay,
you pass.
both passes, so I keep concentration, but
you know, sometimes the dice give, and sometimes the dice take.
yeah. Cool. I think I'm gonna start with an attack. There we go. 24.
Please roll me
And
damage.
8 points of damage, and then I think I do 3d6 from the Searing Smite.
Did you upcast it to
I
third
cast
level?
it at 3rd level, yeah.
Well, then add
Is that-
3d6. Yeah.
So 18 points of damage.
There we go.
And it's still up. So what I'm going to do with a bonus action is cast a Sanctuary. Actually, maybe I'm better off. Oh, Cure Wounds is a full-on
It's a
action.
full action, yeah.
Is Holy Word not an action? Maybe I should grab. I don't have Holy Word, but in case.
Oh, you mean Word of Radiance?
I think Sanctuary is my best option for GTFOing, I guess, if I can.
Yes. You ward a creature within range.
Creature targets must first make a Wisdom saving throw. On a fail, they must choose a new target. Okay.
All right, and they need a 16 or higher on a Wisdom saving throw. And our monster here is now well below half HP. Is that actually 1/3 HP? And you're a tasty meal. And you're almost dead. But are you worth dying for is the real question. I think with an 11, that's just about the natural morale of this creature, but it is at low HP. So I think, well, yeah, survival matters, hunger matters. How hungry is this creature? It's not hungry enough to throw itself into this fight, so it will take the withdraw action and slither back into its crevice, hiding back underground.
Okay.
Although I am curious if it had attacked, what its wisdom save would have been.
Could have done
it
it.
would have
but
passed.
Doesn't matter.
Wow.
It was all hypothetical.
All
It
hypothetical.
seems like in this edition, there's nothing that breaks Sanctuary, right? I can keep attacking and keep Sanctuary. Oh, if the warded creature makes an attack, casts a spell that affects an enemy or deals damage, the spell ends. Okay.
Yeah. So we're Grick, not wanting to throw itself endlessly at anything. You know, it's not a mindless undead. Will withdraw and go back into the crack. Now, Father Prosper, this creature is along the main trade route between Premier City and Ignition. This creature might be affecting trade along this route. Is that something we care about?
Yeah.
Is it your responsibility to deal with this thing?
Probably. Let me see if I.
Right. Upstairs emergency. Go. I'll leave the door and pick you up. I'm gonna have to do this one. I wanna play that.
Yeah, hold on a second. They're back from the park. All right. All right. Yeah, I think I will. Not a rush though. Can I still see it in the crevice with my light, or is it totally
The
receded?
crevice is pretty twisty, and the creature has retreated beyond the line of sight range. It could be maybe just 15 feet back there, or maybe it's just slithered deep, deep underground.
Can you hear the screaming?
Not anymore.
Okay. All right. I think I will heal myself before I venture forth. Second level looks like a good way to go. So cure wounds. Well, it didn't seem like it was automatically subtracting spells, but so is that correct?
You cast that
So
at
it's 13 HP. If I cast it right at 7 plus 6 is what? D8 plus my no, it should be higher. D8 plus my ability modifier.
Yeah, so you rolled
Actually,
a 1 plus 5, and then you did it at a
Okay.
higher level, so you rolled a 7 on the second one.
Okay, so 13 total.
Yep. And I am seeing I see one first level and one
I
third
manually
level.
did that, so it doesn't look like it's
Okay.
taking away spell slots.
Got it.
I'm manually doing that though. Okay.
Cool.
And
What was the first level spell that you cast?
Searing Smite. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a third. I was at third level.
Right.
Okay, so I still have my first level spell slots.
Perfect. Okay. So here you are in the woods. But there's monsters around. Dangerous monsters. Dangerous monsters that might impede the freedom of trade in the most direct
So I'm going
way.
to cast Magic Weapon. I'm still Sanctuaried. Is Magic Weapon concentration? It is not. It's just up to an hour.
Searing Smite is concentration.
But Magic Weapon is not. So I do cast Magic Weapon at second level. Oh, you can
It is
increase
concentration,
plus
though.
2 plus 3. Oh, it is. Okay.
So it'll break your Searing Smite.
Searing Smite is long gone.
Okay.
It doesn't it lasts until you hit something with it, right? It needed a save versus the...
Oh, it takes a
Searing
con
Smite.
save?
Yeah, I mean, my DC is 16, but...
Yeah, okay, it would have failed. Been a hot minute since I played 5e. But
wait,
I
hold
think
on a second.
it does
Searing
last
Smite
forever.
At the start of each turn, oh no, it keeps burning.
Yeah.
No, okay,
So
so it failed and it took another 3d... let's see. The initial damage, so it does take another d6.
Okay, I should have read this.
So it might just burn to death.
So when you hit it, it takes d6 fire damage.
And I cast it at a higher level, so it took 3d6.
Okay, so then when it fails...
But then it fails and it takes 5 more damage.
Oh. On a successful save, the spell ends. If the target or creature were 5 feet...
Okay, so it probably used its action to douse the flame the next round or something like that.
So the first round, it goes to withdraw. It takes 5 additional damage. The second round, it would... Well, I will roll whether or not...
It probably douses the flames or it burns to death.
Right, but it'll have to make a save either way on the second round.
Oh, really?
Does Searing Smite do multiple rounds of... I think it does multiple rounds of burning.
Yeah. Up to 1 minute, yeah. Which, let's see, I healed myself.
At the start of each of its turns, until the spell ends, the target must make a con save.
Okay, so I'm holding the magic weapon until this is done, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, it'll just keep burning until it makes a save or until 10 rounds pass. Until the end of your Searing Smite.
Or it passes a save.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or until it puts it out with...
It can take a round to douse it.
Yeah.
If it takes an action to put out the flames.
So you're not certain whether this thing has escaped into the earth and died, or if it escaped into the earth and put itself out. But you can smell the char of... It smells like roasted eel hanging out near this crevice opening.
The spell, I will know. I mean, it's like quantum information. But
why would you know?
I'll have my concentration back or whatever. If it puts out the flames, the spell ends, and I don't need to concentrate anymore.
The spell doesn't end. The effect ends.
It does. No, if the creature uses an action to put out the flames, the spell ends.
Oh, okay. I was misunderstanding. So the next time you hit a creature, so it only affects one creature.
Exactly, and then it like transfers the spell to a burning.
Okay, so you can't Searing Smite and just like smite a bunch of creatures to set them on fire. You hit one creature, it sets on fire and burns until it ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Then yeah, you
So I
know
guess I
the
will
concentration ends pretty shortly after it goes in the hole.
Okay. I guess I said I cast that magic weapon, so I'll go ahead and do that and enter the hole. How big is the hole?
Well, it's pretty tight. If you turn to your side, you can probably squeeze it. It's maybe, what is this, 2 feet wide?
Okay.
And that's that's its thinnest point because it's not nice
So I
and
think
even.
I
It's sort of
crouch
jagged.
down and like hold my swag stick in there, which has a light spell cast on it, and illuminate into the crevice and see if I can see where the thing crawled.
Yeah, the crevice kind of twists and turns a little bit, and proceeds to like angle downward into the earth. Does
it look like it opens up anywhere?
Not within the first 10 feet. Not like as you begin to scramble in, it still seems pretty tight. You'd have to continue spelunking to see if it opens further. Would you like to spelunk further?
I was looking to see if I had a better way to tear this down, but yeah, I think I will go in there and make sure it's dead and make sure there isn't like a nest of these things attacking the road. So I will squeeze at least 10 feet. Squeezing reduces my movement by half? A third? Half? So I can at least squeeze, go in 7.5 feet. I guess I can always dash back out, right? If I go, so I will squeeze and enter.
You can go 15 feet per
15
round.
feet.
Yeah.
But if I dash, I can go back, right?
Yeah.
So if I go 15 feet and I don't like what I see on my turn, still on the same turn, I can leave.
Right.
So I will squeeze, enter 15 feet, and see what I see.
So you get to the 15-foot mark, and the passageway just continues to go at this point. It could go, and it's, headed down at like a 20-degree angle.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue on the second round?
I think that round I will cure wounds on myself. Do I need spare hand? This is 5e. I can just like use my shield as a spare hand or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
So back up to full.
Just set your mace down for a moment, touch yourself, pick your mace back up.
I think there's some BS about a priest being able to use their shield if their shield has a holy symbol. I don't even like.
Is that, I think, Warcaster?
Or is that Warcaster? Maybe that's
Warcaster allows
thing.
you to use your shield hand as a somatic component.
Okay. All right. Anyways, I stick my swag stick in the dirt, cure my wounds, and pick it back up again the next round and continue spelunking.
Perfect. Well, the next round you go 15 feet in, or you start to go, but after about 10 feet, you come to an area where there's a clear division. Heading downward, the path opens a little bit wider so that it's, instead of 2 feet wide, it's now 3 feet wide. And headed in the other direction, you actually get a more or less straight shot, similar like 2 feet thickness, but you can see it doesn't wind so much. It just kind of goes straight and then opens up into a room where there is like some nesting material, some fluff, like the stinky hide of a creature. And you can see by the light of your glowing swagger stick that the Grick has wound itself around on top of this nest and then proceeded to die.
Did it set the nest on fire?
No, it did not.
Yeah, there's nothing in the spell about igniting flammable materials. But it seems like it might be a little OP if like the creature just became an inferno that set everything else on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like radiant flames or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will go that direction. I will go to the nest with my magic swagger stick and trash the place.
Yeah.
Are there other Gricks in there, or?
You will see that there is a clutch of 26 Grick eggs.
26?
7. 2d6.
2d6.
There are 7 eggs in the middle of this nest.
I've never seen anything like this before.
No. I mean, you're assuming they're Grick eggs because the Grick is wrapped around it.
I only know it's a Grick because that's what its name was when it rolled.
Yeah.
This seems like an abomination. I can't imagine any reason to keep these. Do I have? Nature, insight. I'm racking my out of character head for any reason to not just stomp the nest out of existence. And I can't think of anything. So I think I trashed the nest. I think I
you could
crushed
sell
the
them.
eggs. That's what I was thinking. Like, what possible value would these? Well,
I mean, who are you to determine something's value?
a cleric of Quantarious. Who else?
Okay, that's the right answer. Yeah.
Maybe. Do they seem? I guess I can't tell if they're gonna hatch.
Nope, they're just chilling there in their little cozy underground nest where it's nice and warm and there's no wind and no predators.
There's just the one dead Grick in here. No.
Just the one dead Grick wrapped around him.
Is there any treasure?
Ah,
Like
you
looking
begin to
around,
sift through the...
Yeah.
Yes, there is treasure. You've rolled very high on the whether or not there's treasure roll there. Does Ivy have a treasure table in the DMG?
I don't know. I'm gonna have a 5e DMG. Doesn't matter that much. I don't know what I'm gonna use treasure for, but if there's treasure, I will take it.
Well, this is not the first creature that the Grick has attacked in its life. Random
There's a
treasure.
corpse in here.
Roll me a D100, sir.
51.
Yes, you find the meager remains of a vertebrate creature here. Its equipment ripped open and spilled all over the place, and scouring through the Grick nest, you'll come across 10 silver coins.
Right. Hardly worth noting, but I will go ahead and add that to my character sheet.
What about the remains of the traveler? Do we care about the remains of this traveler?
You said vertebrate. I wasn't sure if that meant human.
Yeah,
humanoid.
But
okay. I don't know if we'd ruled on whether I smashed the eggs or not, but if they're still there, I will put. I'll put them in my bag.
That yet.
Okay. I will put them in my bag and drag the traveler out to the entrance of the cave.
Yes, this will take a little bit of time. You'll have to take off the bag outside and go back in and drag out the corpse of the creature, but you can do so. When you bring it out, you can tell that it is a human, or was a human, with long black hair.
Okay. Oh, geez. Ceremony costs a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know if this is my place to... I think I leave it neatly slumped along the side of the road for a cleric of Veracity to come and deal with.
Perfect. Not your job? On to next.
And I guess I will go back in and see what was down that other path.
Ah, yes. The path that opens up a little wider and continues to descend. Your light spell lasts for quite a long time, and it's also a cantrip.
It's a cantrip.
So
I can renew it. It lasts
perfect.
An hour, I think. 1 hour. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, this passageway continues to descend, and then it evens out for a little while and opens up a little bit bigger, and then it descends and narrows a little bit more. You find yourself
about 3 feet wide, so I'm still technically squeezing, but it's like comfortable enough that I can walk.
Yeah, it begins to oscillate between
walk.
like 2 feet and 3 feet, and the height sometimes is like 8 feet tall, and other times it descends to about 4 feet tall. It's a pretty variable passage, definitely natural in formation, not carved by creatures.
Okay. I will. Let's see if I can go 15 feet around. Around is 6 minutes or 6 seconds, right?
Yes.
So I'll go a couple hundred feet in, and if it looks like it keeps going, I think I might rethink my decision, but...
After a couple of minutes, the passageway intersects this crevice. It splits into two different areas, and at this fork, at this junction that you meet, you can feel the flowing of air, right? You're essentially at like a three-way intersection, and you can feel air blowing from one of these ways to the other way. The way that it is coming from descends to the ground, and the air is blowing towards a passageway that begins to go up towards the surface again.
I have 7 intelligence. This is all beyond me.
Right. There's a breeze down here.
If it looks like I can get to the surface more quickly to the up direction, I will try getting out that way.
Yeah, that one climbs at a much higher rate, and you can squeeze through this. Similar to 4 feet wide. It's actually a little bit easier passageway here. And eventually, a few minutes later, you will pop out on the surface in the forest, maybe 400 feet from where you were standing earlier.
All right. This feels like a distraction that I'm not going to bother pursuing. So I'm just going to move on. So there was like a deeper passage that I didn't investigate. Who knows how many gricks are down there, but killed one, tore up the nest, retrieved the body.
Okay. We're going to leave the grick hole for someone else to deal with.
Yeah, if I had some writing materials, I might leave a little sign or something, but I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, look, you're an economist at heart. You're not, right? The depths of the earth, that's someone else's problem. So I will
continue. Dust myself off. It's prestidigitation that cleans, isn't it? I have mending, which which allows me to like patch holes, but it will not clean.
That's correct. So any little bits of fabric that were ripped in the process of getting down there, you can fix and make yourself look nice and neat.
No trace of the damage. Okay. So as I walk, it takes a minute. Single break or tear in an object you touch. So like over the course of my travels or whatever, I guess I can like walk and do this. I'll mend any tears in my clothes. Thaumaturgy doesn't let me clean myself up, does it? No. That's wizard shit.
Nope. You'll be a dirty priest walking down the road in clean clothes or in non-torn clothes.
Dust myself off, mend, and carry on my way up mountain path towards whatever the name of this dwarf settlement was.
Yes. The rest of your journey actually goes pretty uneventful. There are no more random encounters. You'll arrive at Ignition 2 days later. But before we get there, why don't we take a break and we'll come back on the other side with a little more Dicing with Death. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. We're just talking about material components. I think your spell focus or a component pouch can replace any materials unless they have a GP value associated with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Does one of your spells have a GP value associated with it?
I just saw 2 lodestones, which could be a very dangerous quest if I need to go get those.
Yes.
But I think
lodestones
there's
are
no GP value
quests
listed. So I think it's 5e. I think we just ignore everything. But
yeah.
I have a belt pouch. I thought for priests it was a holy symbol was their spell focus, but that's something in and of itself.
You might be right.
We don't need to look this up.
No, I think we can just not worry about material components unless it's got a big GP value next to it.
Yeah. And then it's been a day, so I have my spell slots back.
No, long rest is a week of downtime.
Oh, really? I would not have been so liberal with my spells if I had realized that.
Well, First time traveling.
Yeah.
Scary monster. But here we are at the mountain town of Ignition. It's a small little town built right into the side of the mountains.
Okay. Are there like buildings popping out of the mountains, or is it like one entrance?
There is a tiny, tiny little upfront section of huts that look pretty new. Maybe they've just built this outside section, or maybe it was destroyed and rebuilt. You know, there's a lot of monsters around at this time. But there's this, collection of small buildings before an opening into the earth itself, which looks like it's also under construction. There's all of this scaffolding everywhere, where the entryway into the mountain looks like it's being slowly chipped away and widened.
Okay. I approach. There's a bunch of huts outside.
Yeah, a bunch of dwarf-sized huts outside. Mud brick.
Are there like no wall? Are there guards?
No wall. There's a couple of guards lying around. They seem to be sitting at a table, and they have a bunch of crossbows, and they've got chainmail on, and they've got like halberds that are leaning against things, and their crossbows are at their sides, and they're playing a game with like some sort of shells and a wooden cup that they put over the shells, and they shake them and they toss the shells out. You're not familiar with this game.
Okay.
Look up as you approach. Take note of you.
Well met
Pause
guards.
the game.
Are they all dwarves?
All dwarves, yeah. There's 4 of them at the table. One of them will get to his tiny, shabby little feet and say, "Oh, hello there, Cleric. What brings you to our cozy little home?"
I hear this is the source of this mine is the source of much gemstone and aggregate that flows down the road into the streets of Premier.
Why, that's absolutely correct. This is Ignition, the wonderful town with all the gemstones, with all the aggregate, with the greatest dwarven craftsmen in the whole wide world.
Could you perhaps point me to these gem vendors? Or he squints at me, and I guess I will continue.
Squints at you.
You see, I heard a foul rumor, which must surely be false, that your gems are not actually for sale, and that there is a cartel arranging sale of gemstones, or they transfer gemstones only to a particular group of craftsmen.
Well, you see,
And I thought dwarves are such honest, upstanding people that surely they would not engage in such collusion and market manipulation.
Well, you see here, Father, what'd you say your name was?
Prosper.
Father Prosper. But once upon a time, we were happy to trade as needed. But then this non-family member came into our little cozy home, and by the time he left, he'd taken a bunch of our gemstones with him. And we decided that thievery is a problem, and the best way to combat thievery is just to keep everything in the family. Because this human is gone. There's no way to find him. He's just out there in the world somewhere with our gems. There's no way to find this person. There's no way to get our property back. And so, best way to prevent loss is to only work with people you trust. And you know who you can trust? Well, you can trust your family, and only your family. And so it's just 2 other family members that we trade. They can, of course, trade on down the road with whoever they like, but here in Ignition, we keep it in the family. We keep the lovely little town. He points to the ingress into this mountain, just to our fellow short feet.
Well, thievery is perhaps the most atrocious crime that one can commit against a fellow persons. And I certainly sympathize with you on that. But do you not see how withholding your wares from market is really stealing from all of humanity? Why, if we cannot freely purchase your gemstones, how can we compete with your family members? They're sewing them into their shoes anyways.
This sounds a hell of a lot like your problem and not mine.
Where are these? You said there were 2 family members who you sell the gemstones to that are free to sell them down the hill. Who are these merchants and how may I find them?
Well, it's Boldara and it's Lazuli. No. Yes. Lazuli? Lapali?
Lazuli?
Lazuli. That's it. Lazuli and Boldar. Wait, I think there was a third one. There was another one, a small one. I can't remember her name. She wasn't very important.
You can't remember your family?
But there's a lot of family. You know how many cousins you got? Her name was something about, it was like a small rock. Like it's just like maybe a skipping stone or something. They all had weird rock names. Right, so they actually went to go found a new city, a place called Kabalopolis, far from here. They went with the demigod, Einhard.
And how is Premier supposed to pave their streets or cobble their shoes with no gems and no aggregate while your cousins are gone?
He shrugs. Sounds like not my problem.
Why the people of Premier have gold? Is their gold not as good as
surely they can wait until our family members arrive from their trip. It might only be a few years. Who needs stone streets that quickly? But you know what? You look like an honest fellow, and you're a cleric, and a cleric of Quantarious nonetheless. I'm sure clerics such as yourself would never thieve or steal. You look like a sort of person we could do business with. What if we opened up our trading deals to family members and you? Surely you would be able to facilitate the freest and most honest of trade, right?
Surely. No. Now we're talking.
Have you come to purchase something in particular, or just to berate us for our ways?
As I said, I heard these nasty rumors, which I'm finding, as my suspicions indicated, may have just been the jealous competition stirring things up.
Do you think someone out there is trying to undermine us by manipulating the will of the gods?
Perhaps. But if you will sell me gems and aggregate, then it seems these rumors were unfounded, and perhaps I was sent here under false pretenses to meddle in markets.
We will sell to you. If
my coin is good, then seems we can do away with these rumors.
Well, excellent then. I'm glad to dispel the notions led by this, whoever would lead you astray. And I thank you, great cleric, for investigating rather than taking the word of this troublemaker. By the way, who is the source of these rumors?
The Cobblers Guild in Premier.
Interesting.
You know those unions, they can often they get a taste of the power and
goes right to
meddle
their heads.
and meddle in markets and make and tip the scales of trade. It's unnatural, you see.
Rightly unnatural.
The greatest prosperity can be derived by letting people choose for themselves freely. And so can you
how
point
much
me to to
Well, would you like gems or aggregate?
aggregate is probably going to be the best bang for my buck. So I'll produce 100 GP, and that doesn't seem like a lot of gemstones, right? But
no.
the very fact that they're willing to sell seems to dispel most of the rumors. Ignoring the fact that I am a 16 charisma cleric and probably not. Most people would probably not be free to come and do this, but
yeah.
So I think for 100 GP, I'll see what I can wheel and deal. Maybe a little cart full of aggregate that I can take on down the mountain and.
You will be led to a dwarf here. Just, they bring you to the edge of where they're working on the construction. Someone goes inside, brings out another dwarf whose name is Antimony. And Antimony is like a middle-aged female dwarf. She comes out here with her wrinkled face, her eyes like squinting against the brightness of the sun. And she puts out a meaty hand towards you.
Well met, Antimony.
Well met, sir. I hear you're here for some aggregate. Now, we produce lots of spare rocks and break them down into smaller rocks using our economically advantageable workforce. And we're happy to... our guard here says that you're an honest cleric and says that we can sell to you, so we shall. Do you have a wagon that we can fill up, a cart?
I do not. I'm here today more on a fact-finding mission, prospecting. But perhaps I will be back to facilitate the free trade between Premier and your fine people of Ignition.
Now, you took the observant feat, so...
I did. I can... Yeah. So I have insane perception, and I think I can read lips. And was this the one that lets me just remember everything all the time?
No, that's Keen Mind.
Keen Mind.
Yeah, but
there's
with
a third feature of
Observant, it gives you a bonus to one of your stats.
Okay, is that it? Okay.
Maybe.
So the main thing is lip reading and passive perception.
Yeah. With this passive perception, you can see that, the entrance is bathed in some amount of light, but after you go in a little bit, like the sunlight doesn't reach, and it's hard to see into the dark, shadowy areas of the entrance. But with your amazing 23 passive perception, you can see back there, there's a goblin. Actually, there's a group of goblins who seem to be bound together and are wielding sledgehammers and are breaking big rocks into smaller rocks in the depths of the cave, of the mountain entrance. And you get the distinct impression that her advantageous labor is built on goblin slave labor.
Yeah.
Does...
I like peer over her shoulder, and might I ask why your workforce is bound?
Oh, otherwise they'd run away.
Doesn't exactly strike me as fair or free.
That's where I understand. You see, these goblins came to kill us and take our things, and we defeated them in combat, and they surrendered. And they begged us to spare their lives, and they said they would work for us forever if only we would spare their lives. And we accepted them at their word.
I assume you have the proper contracts in place.
Verbal contracts are binding in our society.
You there, I shout to the over her shoulder at the goblin.
Couple of goblins look over towards you, sledgehammers raised.
I take a few steps past the dwarf.
Excuse me, sir, we don't really...
Are you perhaps... Are you, Did you agree to enter this, indentured servitude in exchange for your life?
The goblins look at you,
yeah,
and then they look back at the person who's holding, like what do you call it, like a paddling paddle. And they look back at you, and the woman Antimony, who shows up, says, "Excuse me, sir. These goblins are working right now. You can't interrupt their working hours. It's not good." Well, and besides, their language is primitive at best.
I frown. Well, you see, if you don't have a written contract, the only way to verify a verbal contract is with more words.
She looks deeply uncomfortable.
None of the goblins appear to understand common.
Oh, one of them certainly does. He's watching back and forth as the two of you are talking.
I think I'm going to cast a tongue spell on myself.
Ooh, grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language it hears. Moreover, when the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language can hear the target.
So I guess this doesn't really make it discreet. I don't know. Probably overkill. Sure. I guess one of them could have been a translator, but I'll go ahead and tongues myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And crouch next to the goblins and say, "It's okay. You may speak freely. I'm merely, I'm Father Prosper, Cleric of Quantarious. I'm merely attempting to verify the verbal contract that you have made with these dwarves."
Yes. Clerics are good. Gods are good. Praise the gods. Save the goblins.
Is it true that you attacked these dwarves? And in exchange for your life, you agreed to work in their mines?
Sort of.
What are the dwarves doing during this conversation?
Out of your...
I think everyone can understand me, but...
with your amazing passive perception and your theoretically 360 vision, you can see that the guards that were playing the shell game have stopped, and they're talking with Antimony.
How many guards are we talking here?
There were 4, and they've got their weapons now, and they're talking with her, and they're kind of gesticulating wildly, and you can tell that they're like, this guy's a problem, but Antimony's like, he's a cleric.
They're far enough away that I can't hear. I can't technically read lips.
Well, if you glance a look over your shoulder.
So while the goblin is like stuttering and trying to figure out how to answer this and uttering platitudes about how great the gods are, I will glance over and just try to gauge, like, are they planning to murder me? Are they just a little confused and trying to figure out what to do?
Give me an insight check, because you don't speak Dwarven, but you could maybe read their body language.
I can't read their lips. I can understand Dwarven, but they may be out of my range.
Right.
I've got tongue, so I can understand everything. My insight is stellar.
Okay, but with the 23 on your insight check, you can
read
read
body language at this point, right? It's like,
the 4 guards want to bash you over the head and be done with you, and Antimony is doing, she's like pointing to the heavens a bunch, doing like, he's a cleric. Well, you can't just fucking... and so they seem to be in a bit of a bind, trying to figure out what to do with you.
I will give my attention back to the goblin, who has hopefully got it together and is answering my question.
Yes.
I asked if he knowingly entered into this contract. Did he agree to?
Chief said we come and get the stuff from the folks, and then it didn't work, and they were gonna bash us over the heads, and we begged for our life.
Who's Chief? Is there a chief around here?
Oh no, Chief dead. Dwarves killed Chief.
So
but
you did steal from these dwarves.
Not successfully.
Hmm.
But then they were gonna kill us, and we begged, and now we're here, but we don't like it. And set Goblin free, please. Gods are good. Gods are great. Gods make goblins free.
How many goblins are there?
6.
I nod. I will look over my shoulder again at the dwarves and see if they're close enough that I can bring them into the conversation, or are they
has
still
firmly crossed her arms across her chest and is just shaking her head. And the guards are a little bit frustrated. And you can see the people who are working on expanding the entryway. They also have hammers and chisels, so they're kind of
goblins,
armed.
Or are the dwarves are expanding the?
Yeah, the dwarves are doing the knocking things off the walls, and then the goblins are breaking the rocks into aggregate.
Was there a table or something around here?
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of tables and equipment.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
I think my 100. So I think we were mid trade when I noticed the goblins, right? So I think my pouch of 100 gold was probably sitting on the table, and we were negotiating what it would get me. I'll go over to Antimony.
Yeah, they shut up their conversation as you approach, but you can hear the last bit of Dwarven being spoken by one of the guards, being like, "Look, it's only one cleric.
We might have a problem. The goblins can't quite corroborate your contract. You see, it is clear to me that they arrived here with the intent of robbing you. But the bit about them trading their lives for a lifetime of their labor isn't quite matching up."
Well, they're liars. They came here to steal.
Perhaps. But the proper punishment for stealing isn't exactly a lifetime of servitude. So, perhaps if we dole out the proper punishment for the crime, may give you a chance to renegotiate your contract?
Well, what do you think that might be?
Well, stealing, I think typically a severed hand is an appropriate punishment. And then if perhaps the goblins would like to trade that hand for their labor, everyone can understand what I speak. And so I'm looking now over to the goblins to see how they feel about the prospect of having their hands chopped off.
They look a little horrified. Yeah.
What do you say, goblins? We can, you can part with your hands and as recompense for your crimes and be on your way. Or perhaps if you would like to trade your labor to these dwarves for your hands, we can keep things as they are.
One of the goblins...
Minus the chains, of course.
One of the goblins pipes up very quickly and says, I don't want to break rock. Take my hand. Let me go. Right away.
Unless the dwarf reacts more quickly, I think Father Prosper will go to dish out the punishment.
Yeah, the dwarves stand more or less shocked and concerned by what's happening. You head over to the goblin who's got a sledgehammer and a rope around his waist.
Oh, it's just a rope around his waist?
Yeah.
I don't have any bladed weapons, I don't think. So there's no good way for me to remove the rope.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I can untie it? Are they all tied together? Is that...
Yeah,
so they're not chained, they're just tied?
Yeah. There's 10 feet of rope that in between each goblin, and then it goes around their waist and ties pretty tightly. In theory, you could untie it. It might take you a minute or two, but you could do it.
I will go to start doing that. Let's see. I'm going to use all my spell slots, and then I'm going to get into a fight with dwarves, and I'm going to be screwed. Right, if I smash his hand, and then I need to use a cure wounds to keep him from bleeding out and dying. But I think that's what he did. Does he seem like he's the only one that wants to trade his hand for his freedom?
Yeah, just one.
Okay. I'll pick up a sledgehammer in the absence of a bladed weapon and just like brutalize his hand off and use a cure wounds to patch up the stump.
All right.
Goal here, trying to make it as swift as possible. So I will like...
Yeah, give me an attack roll against the goblin as he like lays his hand. He sees you get a sledgehammer and he puts his hand out on the ground and squats down.
Okay.
He's on board. He wants to get the hell out of these mines. He does not want to break rocks for the rest of his life.
I don't have... Is there a way to just do an attack roll, or do I... I guess I'll use my... I wouldn't actually use a swagger stick, but dang, 19's not a crit, is it? It's just a 20.
No, natural 20s are crits, yeah. But double 19s if you were rolling with advantage. It's an amazing blow. You smash the goblin's hand with the sledgehammer.
Does he start screaming, or is he just like, this is what he was expecting?
No, that fucking hurts. Even if he's expecting it, it's wildly painful, and he cries out in pain as his like once horrible, ugly, disgusting, smelly, sticky, wet goblin hand becomes just like a puddle of goo and broken bones and frayed nerves.
And yeah, I think I like yank off the remains of the hands if I can find a way to do it without filthying myself with goblin. Like maybe like use the hammer to hold the smash in place and like grab his wrist and yank and cast a cure wounds to like cauterize the stump.
Yeah, you could like use the hammer or your foot to like hold the broken remains as you rip the bone and flesh off.
I don't know if I want to use like I got sandals on. I don't want to get like blood all over my toes.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of
like justice has been delivered, right? If he's got a few like phalanges hanging off the end, it's hand for a hand, and I will clean things up.
The cure wounds spell knits it over nicely. The cure wounds spell knits the hand over nicely. The goblins and dwarves stare on in like horror, completely taken aback.
Everyone is just in shock. I will just keep things like I'll use that opportunity to untie the goblin and send him on his way before everyone else gets their wits about them to intervene. Anyone else?
The entire entryway has fallen silent. There's no more sounds of chipping stone or breaking rocks or dwarves complaining.
Very well then. So it seems the rest of you are trading your hands for a lifetime of servitude? Seems like a raw deal, but
they all nod enthusiastically.
It is your choice to make. I nod.
Antimony.
Done. With Quantarious as our witness, let this contract be binding. If ceremony didn't take so many damn material or so much damn gold, I would enshrine this in a spell slot. Who's got 25 GP worth of powdered silver?
Antimony will step forward and say, "You're great and gracious High Cleric of Quantarious. His will be done through your body, and we appreciate you bringing your divine judgment here. Would it be too much to ask you to write down your judgment so the next time someone asks, we can prove this deal has been certified?"
Yeah, I think that was your problem the first time around.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's get this contract notarized. Did the goblin just take off running with his stump?
No, he's standing there staring, surprised and confused and bewildered.
Okay. All right. If I don't have any paper on me, but I assume one of them will.
They will produce parchment.
Alternately, I have my prayer book, which I was assuming was some kind of ledger.
Oh.
Right. What does a prayer book to Quantarious look like? I think it's just a. I think it's like a what do you call it?
I mean, you're the
Counts-
first cleric of
counting sheet.
Quantarious, so you decide.
Yeah.
Once the documents have been made,
Mhm.
you'll notice there's many dwarves talking in the shadows as you're filling this stuff out.
Yeah, I was inclined to remove the rope, but I think it's fine if it slips my mind.
You already said you removed the rope from the goblin
Okay.
wall. While
From
everyone
all
was
of the goblins, right?
Oh,
now that they've all agreed to this contract, the rope hardly seems necessary. But,
Hmm.
but I don't know that I
Antimony
press the matter.
Antimony will approach you after this is all done and the contract is signed and sealed and notarized. And she will say, in gratitude for your services, I would very much like to offer you a 3 cartloads of aggregate free of charge to as method of demonstrating our gratitude and pleasure
is,
at your service.
That is most gracious. Might I ask what the typical cost of a cartload of aggregate would be?
The cartload on its own, 10 gold, plus the carts and the animals to haul them, another 30 gold. So this is 3 cartloads of worth 40 gold each.
Very, very fair. And for my 100 gold, perhaps some minor gems? I don't...
Let me go get my cousin Valence, who can get you some gems. And she
While she's
will.
off, I will turn to the guards, who I think are still around,
Yep.
maybe brandishing weapons.
Yep. Well, yeah.
You were
the
saying
halberds are
earlier
always
that you
brandished.
were robbed by a human.
Yes.
Who?
His name was Jan.
Jan.
Yep. He was a traveling human, sang some songs about little creatures, entertained our children. We welcomed him into our home. He drank our beer, and in the morning, he was gone. And well, he took many of our valuables with him.
You don't know where he went.
Haven't the foggiest idea. There's not that many civilized places in the world, but we don't know much beyond our own mountain.
I see. Well. No promises, but we can find this Jan. I'd say he owes you a hand.
He's maybe 5'8", 170 pounds. Kind of sandy colored hair, relatively short. Big smile on his face. Had a musical instrument that was like a big sack with flutes coming off of it that made a strange, ghastly sound.
Sounds horrifying.
It looked horrifying. We thought it was a monster at first, but he played it with some skill. Clean shaven.
Well, I will inquire about this thief. It seems a shame to sour relations between two races of people simply because of the actions of an individual.
If there's
yeah.
Valence will come on out, and she's got some topaz that she wants to sell you. Or yeah.
I'll take 100 GP worth of
Great.
Whatever she's got.
Yep, she'll sell you 100 GP worth of topaz with a smile.
You, free goblin. Do you know how to drive a cart?
Yes. Sit on cart, hit animal with stick. Hit harder when it go wrong way. That's pretty good.
Not. Doesn't quite sound right. You can help me unload. Can I hire you to help me get these rocks back to Premier?
Yes, sir. Yes, boss. Yes, big boss.
It's market rate for goblin labor.
Manual labor is a silver a day, but that's for like a labor with 2 hands. This goblin only has 1 hand.
All right, 5 copper a day it is. And he's a goblin. Does goblin get full? He's still a person. He's still a person. Just
still
one
a person.
hand.
Yeah.
5 copper a day.
All right.
I negotiate with myself on his behalf, and we settled on his price, and we're off back to Premier, I think.
All right.
Much to the relief of these dwarves.
And off we go back to Premier. It's going to be a few days to get back there.
3 carts of aggregate and a sack of 100 topaz.
Mm-hmm. And a goblin.
I'm hoping this goblin is so intimidated he will not try to rob me or shank me or.
I do believe the goblin has been cowed.
How does sleeping work? Is it like reduce your passive perception or?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty dramatically. You will also notice that the goblin appears to be a nocturnal creature. For as you head out into the daylight, he's like eyes are bright and squinting, and he prefers to ride in a cart and try to like just hide his face from the sun because it's painful to him.
That's fine. It seemed like he's probably not very useful at driving these carts, given his attitude about the sticks and the hitting the donkeys or whatever. So
that is correct.
Even if I'm not a shepherd or whatever, got an intuition about these sorts of things.
You did just roll a 24 on your animal handling, so
I think I will opt to lead the carts myself. And what's the goblin's name? This guy doesn't actually speak common, right? So like after an hour, we're no longer able to communicate.
That's going to be true. Yes. Yeah. This goblin's name is Moiner.
Moiner. Okay. I will explain to him that, once I'm not going to be able to understand you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he'll understand.
Right?
Sure. Yeah, you only speak Goblin for short period. I get it. I speak Dwarven when drunk, but only when drunk. I understand.
Cheers.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to make some encounter checks for the way back to Premier City. No encounter. Ooh, encounter the next day, though. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Oh, you actually only need 2.5. Right, so it's near the end of your day. You can see the smoke rising from Premier, like the cook fires rising from Premier City just over the horizon. You're gonna have to rest before you get there. You'll arrive like early the next day. But this, 5-10 miles out from the city, there's a little cart stall set up on the road, and there's been a few other little trails that have mixed with this road. It's not just 2 towns connected. It's a major thoroughfare through which other little villages connect. And here's this little stand on the side of the road with a traveling merchant there. Traveling merchant is a halfling who has a pair of moderate, like leather armor and with spears, armed guards. No shields, just leather armor and spears next to the cart
also
to keep it
halflings?
safe. Humans.
Okay.
And the halfling is sitting on their cart. And as you and the goblin, the carts of aggregate arrive, calls out to you, perfumes, balms, ointments, oils, healing potions. Come
Healing
one, come all.
potions.
Yes, would you like
Blessings
a
of
healing potion?
Quantarious upon you, merchant.
Blessings upon you, Cleric of Quantarious. My name is Jiminy, and I am a traveling merchant. I come from the towns over yonder hill, and I
Is he
bring...
pointing towards Premier or
No,
some
he's
other way?
pointing, perpendicular to the Premier Ignition pathway. And I bring you the greatest perfumes made from lavender, lilac, and honeysuckle. I bring you balms from roots deep within the earth, ointments you can apply to your skin to keep it from burning against the sun, oils for your hair, and yes, even potions of healing created by our very own great Cleric of Martha. Would you like to purchase any of these things?
I'm afraid I haven't the coin for your wares, but does he have these potions on display?
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of things in ceramic containers, like little jars, little ceramic jars with what do you call it? Beeswax cloth pulled tightly over them and then bound with a little bit of string.
My instinct is to be suspicious that he's actually selling potions of healing, but
you still love
should I not even
potions,
be suspicious? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you think it's weird that a non-cleric is selling them, then you can be suspicious.
Yeah.
But also, free trade.
Yeah. I don't know. Can I roll a check of some kind, or is this not?
Yeah,
if you just want to tell me it seems fine, then
what do you think? Maybe an insight check to see if he's on the up and up.
I pass. Which is
that's a great roll. Let's see if he were lying. Yeah, he's definitely got things for sale, but those healing potions. I don't know.
Yeah,
the potions you sell aren't in clay jars. You know that the clay is way too porous, and that the healing potion just dissolves into the jar and renders itself useless. You need glass in order to maintain the magical integrity
I'll
of potions.
point that out. I'll say, you really shouldn't store proper potions in a clay jar. You see, the clay absorbs the liquid, and it would spoil the potion quite quickly.
I mean, maybe the way you make them, but the way that we make them, it's just fine.
Surely only a Cleric of Martha could make a potion of healing.
Yes, of course.
Is it on the table that I could pick it up and grab it? I had already let slip that I didn't have the coin to purchase it, but
yeah, it's like he's got the cart, and one side folds down to be a table, and then he's got these boxes that are at 45-degree angles with these different things set into a fabric.
Does he have a sign advertising potion of healing?
No, he just calls it out to the passerby that you are. He's got his two guards with him as well.
If you there are regulations on selling potions.
What's a regulation?
Means you can't just go around selling any clay jar full of water, full of sweet water, and call it a potion of healing. And it won't actually heal. Now, if you were to call it a healing supplement, that would be out of my jurisdiction. I think I'll let you off this time with a warning, because it seems perhaps you didn't know, but
Well, thank you.
If I catch you selling fake potions of healing again, I may have to write you up.
I mean, no disrespect, your graciousness. I would never sell. I will have to have a chat with my cleric to make sure that they're not tricking me. I would be ashamed if I were to be selling any fake
Who's your cleric?
Honey Bucket.
Have I heard of Honey Bucket, the Claret of
No,
Martha?
Never heard of this ridiculous name.
I glower at this halfling.
The halfling moves back and forth uncomfortably.
Yeah,
The guards.
Like you ought to be careful who you sell these potions to.
Yes.
Perfumes and fake fragrances and supplements all seems fine, but if you sell a fake potion of healing to the wrong person, why? Or why to anyone?
Lying is dishonest. And dishonesty is the downfall of civilization, or so the Cleric of Astaire says to us.
Yeah, I think I'm too tired to investigate further or make a stink, but
Okay. Yep,
There's
you
also,
can
like,
move on down the road.
yeah, rest for the night. If you'd been more honest, I might have wanted to rest with him there, but I'll move down the road and we'll make our own.
Okay. Is there anything else for this day? Nope. Yep. The day passes without event, and you arrive the very early next morning in Premier with your Goblin employee in tow and your 3
guess so.
carts of aggregate.
Yeah. And I guess we will head on in to the town. I guess to my house
Yeah.
with the carts and Topaz.
So, couple questions here. You've got all this aggregate and these topaz. They're yours. You can sell them if you want. And the
course.
other question is, what are you going to do about this Francesca woman who said that these dwarves have a cabal and it's all lies and cheating? Does she
gonna
need
go
a talking to?
Yeah, I'm going to go confront her with the Topaz. The aggregate I'm probably going to offload. I'm probably sell to probably not the, was it Belts and Roads?
The Belts and Roads Union?
Yeah, I will probably, if anyone else will buy aggregate, like if someone wants to start up a rival road laying business or something.
Yeah,
But
I'm
that
sure
seemed
you'll...
like a secondary concern. The gems were the bigger thing with the cobblers, right? So I'll stop by I'll pay my goblin. I'll have him like park the carts at my house, send him on his way, or he can, I mean, if he doesn't have anywhere better to go, he can be my assistant. And but I will go off to the Cobblers Guild.
Yeah, you find yourself at the Cobbler's Guild. It's a nice 3-story building. The downstairs has like a big meeting room where everyone can hang out and talk. You know, the second floor has some actual offices and other stuff. The third floor, I think, is personal quarters.
What was the guild leader's name?
Francesca.
Francesca. All right, is she around?
Yes,
Is she in the guild hall when I walk in? Or-
She's seated at the head of the guild hall in a big fancy chair with her wife by her side. And the two of them are looking out over everyone when you step in. And Francesca immediately gets to her feet and waves to you and hurries down the steps in your direction. Her wife
Are most
following
of the
her.
guild members so there are guild members like sitting about?
Yeah, there's maybe a
building?
dozen people in here enjoying the day.
Humans, dwarves, a mix.
It's predominantly human with a couple of halflings mixed in between.
No dwarves. The dwarves are the
No dwarves.
Okay. So, well, I had a visit to Ignition, and I will plop my little pouch of topaz.
You've gotten them to open up trade. How wonderful and marvelous! Did it take a
Yes,
lot of
it
head
seemed-
bashing?
There was some unrelated hand chopping, but
Well,
not, yeah, a separate contract.
I'm sorry, where are my manners? Father Prosper, may I introduce you to my wife Bethany? Bethany, this is Father Prosper, the man I was telling you about.
Blessings upon you, Bethany,
Oh, it's nice
and
to meet you.
guildies. I gesture to the room. I don't know if you were mistaken before, or perhaps the situation just needed a divine touch, but it seems the dwarves are willing to trade, especially with their cousins out of town.
Well, that's just fantastic. Did you get a chance, not that I'm imposing, but did you get a chance to deal with Mr. Duster on the city council?
I have not. I did not understand the nature of the complaint there, but it did not strike me that Councillor Duster had done anything untoward.
Duster has been vetoing measures that would enforce, equal distribution of wealth. You see, some of the smaller creatures are, they're able to sell things for less because they need fewer calories and smaller living spaces, and so their rent is cheaper, their food is cheaper, and so they can undercut the rest of humans in their work, and it's not good for business when dwarves and halflings and gnomes can undercut the human trade because of their lower
Are you suggesting
expenses.
that we tax the dwarves at a higher rate because they're smaller?
I just think that
the most prosperous approach for all of us is for the council to intervene as little as possible.
I would agree. But whatever you think is best, I trust the wisdom of the divine. And what about the Cobblefeet dwarves? Have they been... They're not in town. They're found in Cobbleopolis. Is there any chance that you could, leave a pointed message to them that their ways are unacceptable?
Can you elaborate what is unacceptable about their ways?
Well, it's just that they had been benefiting from the trade which the exclusive trading rights which you have broken up, and they've made a killing and really risen to prominence through these, dastardly, immoral methods. I think it's only fair if there were some sort of tax or repercussions for their malbehavior.
Story that the Ignition Dwarves told me is that they were robbed by a human bard named Jan.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I just live here in Premier. I've never been outside more than a mile from the city walls.
Nod. I think this misunderstanding led to the exclusive trade agreement.
I see.
Now that the dwarves seem willing to sell their wares, and the Cobblefeet have left town, I hardly see any...
Oh, they'll be back. They always come back, those Cobblefeet. They're the middle of the three. A dwarf named Boldara is particularly brutal. They call her Boldara the Boulder because she bulldozes over everyone to enforce her wants. She's not afraid to use strongman tactics to set her sisters up and their shop up. But I understand if your work is done.
Is this not the realm of, I don't know, town guard? Are you saying she's assaulted people? Or threatened?
Intimidated, but I think you're right. Your graciousness. It's not for a cleric of Quantarious. I will speak to the city council, and if Duster doesn't veto the Guards Act again, maybe we can get some sort of appropriate law enforcement.
He vetoed the guards acting.
Yes, he said that the city did not need to establish a permanent guard to deal with criminal matters, and that the temporary guards that are called from time to time in states of emergency were more than sufficient, and that there need not be a standing law enforcement.
Seems reasonable.
She looks
Cards can
kind of
be
sad when you
expensive
say
and-
that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do for you, Father Prosper? Perhaps you need a new pair of sandals?
I look down. Well, I got a little goblin's blood on these.
Oh, well, please don't ever wear those again. Let us get you a new pair. We have a whole union, a whole guild here. I'm sure one of our fine members would happily make you a pair of fine sandals for your graciousness.
Perhaps with a few topaz encrusted.
Do you have some topaz gems that you could put on? That would be wonderful.
I gesture to the bag on the table.
Well, let me get my very
many shipments we can arrange between us and Ignition.
Oh, Father Prosper.
I also have 3 cartloads of aggregate. Now, as you insinuated before, it seems the Belts and Roads Union may be engaged in some anti-competitive behavior.
Most certainly.
Do you have any ideas who else might be interested in this aggregate?
Well, I don't think anyone has been able to be interested in it since they haven't been able to get their hands on it. You have worked so hard. Why don't you sell me the aggregate and I will do the labor of setting it up? Or maybe perhaps the Cobblers Guild will dabble in road building. After all, shoes and roads interface with each other all the time. Who better to build roads than people who know what shoes can withstand?
Yes, and
thank you.
If anyone has further orders to submit to the dwarves of Ignition, I would be happy to facilitate for a small fee, of course.
Of course. Thank you so much. Let me introduce you to Sister Helen. She runs the Temple of Shoes. Their motto is Save Our Souls. And she will be happy to build you a set of topaz-laden sandals of the finest quality. You wouldn't mind telling people if they asked, only if they asked, of course, that she, of the Cobblers Guild, made them for you.
I said, of course.
Oh,
No.
Excellent. And Francesca will introduce you to Sister Helen, who will take your order and make you however fancy of shoes that you would like. Since you're supplying the topaz, and you are a
Only
cleric of
100 GP with
Quantarious.
topaz, but
Oh. Okay.
and I think moving forward, Father Prosper will facilitate trade between ostensibly whoever and the Dwarves of Ignition, but I think initially it's probably just the Cobblers Union now getting into the roads.
Excellent.
I do want to investigate this bard thief.
This Jan guy, this sketchy.
Yeah, I would probably hit a few of the taverns and ask the barkeeps if any of them have heard of this fellow.
Yeah.
Jan the Piper, and
Well,
he's been through these parts.
let me make a die roll for us. It'll take you 2 days of hitting up all the local taverns until you find one where someone has heard of this Jan fellow. And it's not the greatest of taverns that you come to. It's a kind of a quiet place on the edge of town. The main road out of town heads to the west, and there's a small road that leads northward. And it's a tavern just on the very edge of town here, a place by the name of...
Looking for random objects on your desk to name a tavern after?
That's exactly what I'm doing. It's the Tavern Constellation is what it is. And here, as you're asking around, one of the waitresses, one of the waitresses here will speak up and be like, "Oh, of course, I know Jan the Bagpiper."
Has he been through recently?
Certainly, he was here yesterday. He said he'll come back and play tonight's set as well. Lovely fellow, very charming. Tells the cutest stories of animals out in the forest.
Well then, suppose I'll be back tonight.
Should I tell him that you're coming for him to see him? Or should I leave it a surprise?
Either way.
Okay. And she'll go back to her work, and you can head back there later this evening. Are you trying to show up before he arrives or after he arrives?
Probably before. Yeah, probably show up like early evening.
Great.
Five-ish or whatever, and start hanging out and wait and see if he shows up.
Well, sure enough, he does show up. And he comes in with the floor. She comes in, bagpipes a-blazing. That's how he makes his entrance. And that's, the first 5 minutes is just like a musical interlude as the 5'7", 180-pound, sandy-haired human with the bagpipes bounces around the tavern, getting everyone sort of excited and bumping into tables and chairs and making silly faces as he blows into the bagpipes. And I think, if I understand bagpipes right, you can not... like they store air, so you can talk to people while continuing to play and then just reflate them.
They usually I think there's one that you can blow into, and then there's different other ones that you can like squeeze. So they may be like separate sounds that it makes, whether you're blowing or maybe it's you blow to fill it and then you squeeze to play it or something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, I think you can make a drone by just like squeezing the sack or whatever.
Perfect.
Whatever they call it. The sheep belly and
he'll alternate between, filling his bagpipes and talking to people while making music. And
you really talk while there's a going in the background? Apparently. Is that his skill?
He's a bard. He's got, magic abilities to improve his musical instruments, and the drone is such a sad... It's a lovely sound, it's the sound of joyousness and celebration. It's the sound you want at your wedding, right? Right?
Does he look particularly affluent? Does he look like he just robbed a dwarven jewel mine?
He's wearing his performing costume, and his performing costume looks interesting and fun. It's supposed to look interesting and fun. But he doesn't look rich. Like, he doesn't have gold rings on his fingers or anything like that. He's not...
That's just me.
Yeah, his accessorizing isn't on point, so...
Okay. I think I will wait for his first break, if he takes one, and then go talk to him.
Sure. Yeah, he plays for about 45 minutes, takes a break, goes over to get a drink to wet his whistle.
And I'll plop down next to him at the bar. Maybe offer to buy his drink if I can do that smoothly.
Oh, so smoothly. Everyone likes to buy drinks for the bard. He'll accept it and take a look at you and go, "Oh, Cleric! So kind of you to come by. May the gods always bless our music."
May you bless our ears with your sounds.
That's what I'm here to do.
I was just visiting Ignition, I say, and then I lean in maybe give it like a half a beat to see if I can like gauge a micro expression from mentioning ignition.
Give me an insight check.
It's wisdom based. I feel like there should be like a charisma version of insight. Is he like opposing with either deception or with something?
I completely agree, but it is wisdom based, so we're rolling with it. And 15, yeah, you can see that his face, like, it perks up, like he's interested in ignition. Like, oh, you've been there.
I lean in and under my breath, I heard the most unsettling rumor about you.
Well, let me tell you, sir, she fell in love with me first.
No, it was the, might have come from the guards, but the miners there seemed to be under the impression that you, made off with some of their, precious gems.
Well, no, quite, that's not quite it, sir. No, I'm not surprised those greedy dwarves would say such a thing. No, they would never. You see, one of the lovely women, from Ignition, couldn't help herself but fall in love with me, and we desired to get married, and her family wouldn't have anything to do with it, and so we absconded together. We eloped, and on our way out, she grabbed some little bits of precious from her family as a matter of her dowry, and together we fled.
I'm casting a Zone of Truth spell.
Ooh, he gets a charisma saving throw.
Yeah, he's a bard. That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, are bards proficient?
He probably. I mean, I think he probably realizes this is happening, right?
Yeah, I think.
Like, he starts going off on his rant about like seducing some dwarf or something, and I ignore that and start like. It's verbal and somatic.
It does have a proficiency in charisma saving throws, so 1d20 plus.
Are these things hidden? It's aware of the spell. Can this avoid answering questions they would normally respond with a lie?
You know whether each creature succeeds or fails, so you know that he passes his saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the story he tells you, is that he fell in love with a local. The family didn't want them to get together, and so the two of them left, and she took her dowry from her family.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's saying that he seduced a local and she gave him the money.
He didn't seduce her. They were in love.
Sure. Who was did he give a name?
Oh, my dearly beloved ex-wife. Oh, how I do miss her.
What was he? Who was your wife? Is he still willing to talk with me after I Zone of Truth him, or is he?
Oh yeah, you cast Zone of Truth. It's a 15-foot radius, so other people around you are also affected by Zone of Truth, and some of them move out of the zone.
And there's a
But this guy, this bard, he's cool. He's super cool. Okay. He's not gonna throw a fit about this. Oh, her name. Her name was Jamie, and she was amazing.
Where does she know?
Well, we traveled for a bit, and her love for me began to fade. Once outside of the mountain homes, she found the life of a traveling bard was too great, and 2 months later, she decided to return home.
So she's back in Ignition.
I do believe so, unless she was eaten by goblins on the way home. Or something like that. She decided that she could not keep up. She was tired of walking. I told her that I could never be tied down and that I must travel. It is in my nature. And when an immovable force meets an immovable object or something like that, an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, we had to dissolve our union and head our separate ways.
Okay. I'll let him get back to his set. I think I will, on my next trip to Ignition, I'll have to track down this Jamie and see what her side of the story is.
Okay. Well, I think we have wrapped up all of our loose ends for today.
Yeah, I don't know if I left enough, I don't know if I caused enough chaos for your dear city dwarves, but it was a start.
I think we've definitely given them some things to work with here. Yes. Yes,
So
very
I think
good.
Father Prosper will act as a go-between between the Cobbler's Guild and I guess whoever else is buying and the dwarves of Ignition.
Mm-hmm.
Taking orders up the mountain, purchasing gems and aggregate, and bringing it back down and selling it to the highest bidder.
Excellent.
And then the next time he's up in Ignition, he'll seek out this Jamie and see if he can get the other side of the thieving bagpiper story.
How does Father Prosper feel about the concept of bribery?
When you put it that way, he is all for receiving whatever compensation he is due, being rewarded for his services on the free and open market.
Right, because when you phrase it like that, it makes so much
untoward.
sense.
Yeah,
bribery.
So out of character, he could be bribed if the
well, I mean,
if it were phrased in a tasteful way, if it wasn't obviously a bribe, if it were being paid for his services,
right? Which is how I interpret what I feel. Father Prosper has been bribed twice already in today's session. But if it didn't feel like a bribe to Father Prosper, then that's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. It's just lobbying, right?
Yeah,
it's just good old friendship and personal relationships. That's the term for bribery. Personal relationship based business. Great.
Yeah, didn't feel particularly evil. Well, I guess I did bash a goblin's hand off, and
he asked for it, literally.
Maybe did I choose lawful neutral or lawful evil? I got lawful neutral. That seems which is almost more evil than chaotic evil.
Because at least then you know you're evil, and lawful neutral, you're kind of lying to yourself. Yeah. Well, that's great. This went exceedingly well, and was a lot more smooth and natural feeling than I was expecting. Maybe to kind of push you a little harder into the evil realm, and you very easily and smoothly went along with the plans and changed them to your own fitting. And now our city dwarves will
a little bit of competition. I didn't stew up too much chaos here in Premiere.
Yeah,
this is Father Prosper's city too. Why would you want to mess things up?
Of course. Perfect. Well, I think that will wrap us up for Dicing with Death today. I don't know. Did we have we didn't have any other plans, right? I feel like I'm looking back through these text messages. I think you're
I don't know when we'll be able to get another session if that's what you're thinking.
I was wondering about another sessions. Your calendar manager had said something about.
Oh, did she?
More frequent.
Really? We'll see what we can do, but that'd be news to me.
Yeah, maybe once a month was the word.
She said that?
I got mixed messaging. Okay. I got, this is a birthday special event, maybe once a month. So I don't know if your birthday comes once a month
birthday
now.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Gosh,
I don't know.
I'm gonna age fast.
We'll figure it out.
Seems optimistic. We'll see you next year.
Okay. We'll see you guys next year. That's it, everybody. Good night and goodbye.